Boom. Turtle Soup done won this bitch. What is up? Man,
What's up?
we're back. We're
Ow.
back. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. It's your boy Easy.
It's your boy Ryan.
And you're listening to Turtle Soup. You're watching Turtle Soup, the internet, nay, the world's only community-supported podcast dedicated to the ongoing journey of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all the way from the beginning until me and our good friend Lex, we start a business. Now, this is a long walk, so just walk with me. We start a business, and it's a detective agency, but also kind of like a therapist, sort of someone to listen to you talk about stuff. But it's specifically for those who can't remember certain things that are like, oh, do you remember this thing? Or like, there's something that like a movie I watched and you can't Google it. Like you try and you can't, you're at your wits end.
Yeah.
So having said that, the reason why, until we start that business, because once we do that, I'm going to be making so much money, I won't need, moon money for anything. So,
anything.
Yeah. But yeah, the reason I say that is because real quick, so there were these nuts that my mom used to get. And I just remembered them being in like, obviously like a clear plastic jar or whatever with a red lid. And I thought they were called grape nuts, but Shannon, my wife, was like, no, that's a cereal, dumbass. Like, that's a cereal. And she was very aggressive about that. I didn't realize that vegetarians are like super aggressive about grape nuts, maybe. I don't know.
So anyway. then you ran into the door and then.
Yeah, exactly. And then it like kind of tricked me. But no, I called my mom. She didn't remember. She remembered what I'm talking about. She couldn't remember what they were called. I called my sister, same thing. She's like, you're breaking my brain. I don't remember what these things were called. And I'm like, they were these nuts that had like, one of them looked like an elongated clock or watch screw, or what's the thing I'm looking for? The gear. And like kind of like if it was a churro. Then there was like just weird shapes, but not like stars and hearts and clovers, but like just odd nut shapes. Out of nowhere, I just sat still and just like centered myself, something like Mei Pei Chai does in this thing we're gonna review. And it hit me, and it was wheat nuts. They were called wheat nuts, right? Do you remember these things at all?
No, that makes me really want to. I'm going to Google it now.
Google it. So I Google it, and I'm so excited because in my brain, I was telling myself, I'm at my wit's end. And the last time I was there, it was because I couldn't remember this thing that happened in a movie. And I had certain elements of it, but every time I Googled it, I couldn't find it. Nobody knew what it was. And then our friend Lex had posted on the internet or on Instagram or whatever, which is on the internet. And, she said, hey, if you need to remember something or if you're trying to figure out something, test my knowledge or whatever. So I did. And she found out it was the Hug-a-Bunch movie, which I had completely forgot about. And it was dead ass 100% the thing I was thinking of. Super weird. So my brain was telling me, you might need to text Lex because this was the last time you were in this situation. And she's the one who pulled you out. Yeah. So I was on the verge of texting Lex being like, hey, do you remember these nuts? And, and so, but it hit me. So then I sent it to her and she goes, Eric, it says nuts on there, but it also says in the fine print, it says nut free. She's like, that's dog food. That ain't real nuts. Like that's not. So I'm questioning a lot of things, but nevertheless.
Whoa, wait a minute. Wheat nuts aren't nuts. Okay. So I can see it. So wheat nuts were not available for a couple years, on stores because the company that owned them stopped putting them out. But they are now available at notanut.com. That's NADA nut.com.
Notanut.com.
After 2 years of hiatus. Not a Nut. You can get these on Amazon. They are 100%. They are 100% nut free. Peanut allergy safe. Nut free snack. Wheat nuts. They are made from wheat.
No way, notanut.com.
Notanut.com.
Goodness. Put it on the list.
Yeah. I don't know what the ingredients are, but
they were really good when I was a kid. I remember that. But
and it says you get the truly unique product, delivers the look, taste, and crunch of tree nuts without the nut allergy concerns.
There you go. That's the biggest concern about nuts.
And what's funny enough is they're made at a nut-free SQF level 3 certified facility, meaning they are intentionally made at a place that has zero nut contact. It's not even like, oh yeah, they call these, but they're not. It's like, no, they literally are just like, what if we didn't? What
if we did not?
That has to be one of the worst like branding problems. Like I guarantee you, probably where they pulled it. Their brand manager has to be like, so it has to be called Wheat Nuts. It has to have nuts in the name. But somewhere on the packaging, we have to include for people who have nut allergies that not only are these not nuts, they are made in a facility that is insulated from nuts like Fort Knox. Like, so, but it still says nuts. And I have a funny feeling that if you have a real nut allergy, you're not willing to test that assumption.
No, not at all.
Because
you're not going to risk it.
It's because it says nuts on it.
Right. Yeah.
And you're like, man. Okay, so I could try, but then I could also have my throat close up, or I could die. Yeah, one of those two. So that has to be a problem.
It has to be a problem. But
don't worry, not a nut.
Notanut.com. It's on the internet.
So it must be a website dedicated to like no nut.
No nut. They probably do wonderful in November. Yep.
Absolutely. No, that ought to be their month. That's when they ought to run the sales.
Absolutely. Because everyone's looking for some nuts, but like
everyone's looking for no nut in November. Exactly.
But wow. Yeah. Well, speaking of things that are on the internet, that's your boys here, the Deep Diving Daddies of Turtle Soup. We're here on YouTube, and thank you for everyone joining us. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and sincerely appreciate your viewage. I guess that's what they call it. And so we're trying to get back into the live stream thing. This is our first time back for a while, due to some just life. But hopefully we'll be back on a pretty regular basis.
Don't worry, we're not gonna Xcast you.
Oh no.
We're here to stay. I just have some gaps sometimes.
Yeah. Just gotta bear with us for a little bit. We'll come back. Don't worry, baby birds. We gonna feed you. So, but speaking of feeding people, there's some people that feed us. There's some people that keep our There's some people that keep our no nuts on the table. And
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's our patrons. They don't say clang. They make sure we don't say clang. And
they understand that Turtle Soup is a 100% soup-free product. They understand that. We have the same goddamn problem that Wheat Nuts have.
We do.
We're called Turtle Soup, but we contain
soup.
Not turtle or soup.
Well, the turtle ratio is a little on the lacking side for
we talk about turtles. So
right.
The contents, it'd be Ryan and Eric. It'd be the contents.
That's true. But speaking of the people that bring this show to you as our patrons, and tonight we want to thank David Wagner and John O'Barnes. Thank y'all very much. Wonderful patrons, upstanding citizens, and they facilitate us from a clang-free, 100% clang-free level 3 facility.
Level 3 clang-free facility.
Yes, that was really hard to say. Goodness gracious,
that is hard to say.
And if you're wondering what we do here. We do the journey. The turtles, we walk with them. It's a slow walk.
Yes.
Turtles walk slow. We know the story. We know how it goes. They got 4 feet, but they take 2 steps. So and we're taking 1 step tonight in the journey, Ryan. And can you tell everybody where we're at in the journey tonight?
They got 4 feet, but they take 2 steps. That's starting to kill me a bit.
Sorry, I had to hold myself together for that one.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Turtles are always Brian McKnighting themselves. They basically like that's,
they are.
That's back at 1. It's like they feel that back to 1. All right, so on this step in the journey, we are covering the Ninja Turtles Next Mutation show, episode 2, East Meets West, part 2, from September 19th of 1997. We opened this whole situation on our episode 300, and thanks to everybody who listened to that and gave us well wishes. I want to thank Michael McDonald's and Farmer Greg for being live with us on that episode. It was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Definitely shot in more of like almost like a panel type situation. Like that's how I got the feeling of like when I watched it back. I was like, it feels like we're doing a panel to no one. Basically.
It does. It totally does.
But I really liked the format. I really liked it. I was like all about that format.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fun. So we started there. And the really cool thing about this, and I was kind of saying it on the internet, on Discord and on Facebook and stuff, was that the cool thing about this is that it's available on YouTube to watch for free.
Yeah.
So it's cool because you can do your homework. So many of these things, right? Like say when we were doing the animated series, it was like, hope you have it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like hope you own it, or like hope that like, I think at the time for a while you could buy episodes on YouTube. That was like a thing for a bit. Yeah. But it's like you're getting caught up in all that money, you know what I mean, just to see it, right? because it used to be for free on YouTube, and then
did.
when they started selling it on YouTube, all of a sudden the free versions went away, right? But yeah, we're going to be covering that, and or unless you have that,
we
DVD.
have the physical, yeah. So yeah,
yeah. Oh, we have the physical.
Oh yeah, we're above board here at Turtle Soup as best we can.
Sadly, we don't live in the same house, so there's that.
Yet.
We're still working on our compound. We're going to build our weird friend group compound where it's like, you know,
if you get Shannon,
I love it.
Shannon would love that. Shannon because the house next door, the house next door has been vacant for forever. And
absolutely. One of us should buy that.
She's been wanting to tunnel underneath and have the
100%.
house. Yeah. So she's
Shane, I had a huge plan to do a cut and cover tunnel from my house to my parents.
Yeah.
Just for like, you don't see me go to my parents. I was like, well, why would you build that? You just walk into your parents' house. But we had that plan.
Yeah.
So we have some emails that we've been neglecting. I know that we said, we're going to do it on a separate video. And the idea's still cool, but like we just didn't do it, right? So like it happened to us. I want to apologize off the bat if you had an email and you're like, well, that's been forever. And I'd be like, yep, it has.
Thank you for your
So
patience.
We're going to read them. Thank you for your patience. We're going to read them. Once I get them pulled up, my nails.
Tonight. I think my cat's trying to.
So we have an email from actually one of our patrons that we were thinking.
Oh yeah, Jono
Barnes.
Yeah,
sent this one. This almost like a blast one. January 26th.
At least it's this year.
So at least it's this year. No,
at least it's still the same year.
No, I remember one time we took a break from we hadn't been reading emails for a second because they were getting kind of long. Oh, we got and we came back January and we were reading emails that were from September of the last year. I was like, oh my God, this is terrible.
Real quick, the problem is that we want to give due diligence to the
that's the issue.
The emails, because some of these are really good. Well, most of them are really good. The ones that aren't, we delete them. So if you haven't heard your email, no kidding, I'm totally kidding. I'm totally joking.
That's the opposite of what happened.
Yes.
But we want to give the emails their time. Then there were shorter emails. We're like, oh well, we don't want to read some emails on the show and not other emails on the show because that doesn't feel right. Like, oh, we'll just do them on YouTube and then you can go watch your review. And then whatever. We're gonna clear the house tonight. And then we may still do mailbags, but we're clearing the house.
That's the goal.
Nothing's, whatever. So. But if you send an email at this point, because I'm going to read, there's 3 emails. We're going to read them off. And if you have an email that you didn't get read, you're like, I know for a fact, because I've been listening to every episode, those assholes forgot my email.
Yeah.
Definitely email us. Let us know. It is not intentional. We have not. We'd say if there was an email that came across, it was like, wow, this is actually a curse. You know what I mean? This is it's all in Aramaic.
Right.
I think it summons Hellraiser or somebody like that. And we'd say, yeah, we got this email. We really can't read, man. Sorry. But that's not how it's been.
No, not yet.
That being said. John Barnes.
Yes.
Hey, ninjas and ninjettes.
Oh.
With living in smelly old England for the past 4 years, I haven't been able to tune into your live streams because of the time difference. However, I'll be going back to the USA in February. Oh. Welcome back.
Yeah, John.
For a bit. So hopefully we'll be able to jump on. That's terrible. We didn't do live episodes. John, are you still in the States? Because that'd be awful. If you were like, man, that February, I'm going to come back and catch that soup live. And me and Eric are like, life's blowing up on us. And we can't do it. That'd be awful. As always, guys, loving this show. And then he talks about, have you seen this? And it's a link to the Fury Toys 1/12 Samurai Turtles.
Yeah.
Which we have beautiful.
Yeah, we've talked about them.
Definitely seen them
a few times. They're really neat. They're continuing to do it, and they look awesome.
Yeah, they do. He says it looks ace, which is I feel like something that someone in England says. They're like
smelly old
ace, mate. You're like shit. And he's definitely gonna try to pick it up. Anyways, on to the question. It's kind of a 2-parter. Here we go.
Okay.
The TMNT came out in '84, right in the middle of the kung fu karate craze of the late '70s, late '80s. If the TMNT came out now, what do you think they would be? So the reason this is a 2-parter is, A, what do you think the writers would want the Turtles to be? Would the writers still think that ninjas are cool? Or would they be something like secret agents? And B, what do you think the Turtles themselves would like to be if they came out now? So he has some answers. So I think that maybe like we do our answers and then we read his.
Okay.
So the Turtles came out right now, right? And we're going to assume, I think we need ground rules. Would the Turtles come out as a comic, Eric? Like, would you basically recreate their comic to cartoon to movie, like trajectory, but it all happens now? Is that what we're going under? Or are we going under like it starts as a TV as a cartoon now, or it starts as a movie? Because I think that differs.
Oh,
what
yeah.
they would be.
I think just the general populace knows them as a cartoon. And so I think we should stick with the cartoon. Just saying that, like, yeah, let's just assume that let's just operate under the idea that yes, they started the way they did, like in the 80s with the comic, and it was cool, but then nothing else happened. And then somebody nowadays found it and was like, oh, let me repurpose this, or that idea was cool, let me build upon it. Maybe we can go from there and try that. Almost like if this is the second thing they've done with the Turtles.
Okay. I think they could absolutely be ninjas now. Because that is one question he asked. Do you think they would still be ninjas? Or do you think that writers will still think that they're cool, or would they change it? I think that when you're dealing with the TMNT, I feel like if you take the ninja part away, you're not the TMNT anymore.
Like, well, yeah, because the N would have to change, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, because it could be Hero.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot because he's in England. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Speaking of a smelly old England, so I feel like, I know that sounds like an obvious statement, but like the question Jono asks is like super blue sky question. It is like super like, what if they came out now? Would they be any different? And I kind of feel like, yeah, they would definitely be different. But I think that we have to start on a baseline of being like, they would still need to be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? Like, because you could say, oh, the idea it came out now, but they're not ninjas, so it's a different. They're Marvel superheroes. You'd be like, well, then that's not even the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we had those ground rules, because, like, you know what I mean?
Because like the way I interpreted what he was saying, and I'm probably wrong because I was clicking on something. So, but like, was he saying that like, okay, so yeah, they're ninjas, the Turtles, like all that, but like, are they wanting to be something different in the show? Like, yes, we're ninjas. Because
he says technically, because it came out in the 80s, in the middle of the Kung Fu Karate craze.
Oh,
if the TMNT came out now, what would they be like? So
I think that they would probably
it is
be
TMNT. It's just now.
I think that they would be like, I guess influencers are the thing, like the social media stuff. Like you would definitely have Donnie being a Twitch streamer or like something with video games and stuff like that. Definitely have him doing that. But I don't know there would be anything that would unify them, because the ninja unifies them. So they have that. They each have their own individuality, and you can branch off from that, which is what the Nick 2012 version did to great effect. You had Leo was the nerd, but like because he liked the sci-fi stuff and all that. Donnie was the tech nerd. Mikey was party dude, and Raph was whatever Raph was. And so but as far as like pop culture stuff that's big now, like what are your kids into? Like what are the kids into? Like, because I know August does
so hard now,
computer stuff, but
yeah, because my kids are like kind of out of the range now, right? Like they're 12 and 10, so it's not that they can't like TMNT, but they're not 100%. They're growing out a little bit of like the age where you get like captured, right? Like when you're younger. Because August was a big TMNT fan when he was younger.
I guess what I'm saying is like, what are they into, like casually? Like what are kids into?
Oh.
Like what are they like? Oh, like thing.
Like anime? I mean, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's tough, because right now the cartoon, and if I was more of an expert on like the current like animated shows thing, maybe it'd be a different answer. But the problem is like the kind of cartoons that like TMNT are not really around now.
That's
right?
True. That's a good point.
Like, now Saturday morning cartoon is not a thing.
Yeah.
So you're either a Nickelodeon property, and a lot of those are very out there anyway. They're almost like young Cartoon Network shows. Okay. They don't feel anything like Doug and Rugrats, all those old cartoons. They don't feel anything like that anymore. They're their own thing, right?
Yeah.
Or you're a Cartoon Network show.
Yeah.
Which means you're either super zany or you're adult zany and you're on Adult Swim, right?
Zany.
And that doesn't really fit it, right?
Yeah, no.
Liquid television would have been a really cool spot for the Turtles, but that was the 90s, right? But they ran a lot of crazy stuff that was pretty out there. So where would they land? That's a really good question.
It's a good question.
I mean,
but the thing that I'm thinking about though is like going backwards. So instead of taking it forwards, like what the question's implying, taking it backwards, what if the Turtles came out in the 1800s? Like, would ninjas still be just as cool then as they are now? Because I mean, I'm biased because, like, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, so like ninjas were just ubiquitous and among every property, and they were always just really cool.
No.
So I wonder if, but
I think
but to your point though, they didn't have the media, anything to let them know about ninjas or anything to tether it to what we knew in life at all. So
yeah, like you gotta wait until like Kurosawa for samurai to be like popularized, almost like kind of thrown up next to like Wild West heroes almost in a way, right? Like there's a lot of comparison there, I think, for like American audiences at least.
Right. So
that lets them go, so
the Turtles would be cowboys, presumably, if they came out like back then. So if like it would be like a cowboy thing. Yeah.
It would be back in like the 50s, like the 50s and stuff, going up through the 60s, it would have been cowboys and stuff. But I feel like we're going really far afield. I think now it would have to be what it is. It would probably be on Nickelodeon, to be honest. And it might look a lot like the 2012 series. But they wouldn't. First of all, it wouldn't all just be like 4 dudes. Number one. It would be a ton more diverse from the base, because we're just there. So we're learning a lot about Venus now, watching the Next Mutation. There'd be a girl turtle just off the bat, no questions asked.
They would probably gender swap one of them, probably.
100%. I mean, well, at this point, it wouldn't even be a gender swap, right? Because they'd be taking it from pure cloth. It'd be just like,
or they could just switch like one of the turtles with the Venus, like the same story, but So okay.
Well, and they probably open up the universe a lot. They probably would start out with a bit of a like Mighty Mutanimals, like a mutant rogue gallery off the bat. It wouldn't just be Shredder, Krang, Foot Soldiers, Go. They would open it way wide up, and it would probably look a lot like 2012. I because that's our best interpretation. Because while they had to hold on to old things, they innovated a ton in the 2012 series. Like they did give each of those turtles their own kind of thing, and it felt more real, and it felt better than just like like Donnie has goggles on. Raph's really big. It didn't feel that way. It was like more real. Right. And then I guess for the second part, what the turtles themselves would like to be if they came out now.
Right. That's kind of what I got hung up on. But also, remember how I guess you'd say woke that Adventures was, like, because they were so aware of like everything else. That would be
call it woke. You just call it realistic, but
tomato,
having empathy and and caring about things.
So, but that's exactly what the Archie Adventure series did. Because you mentioned the Mutanimals, and that triggered my recollection of that. And that would be more indicative of what would probably be a modern take on the Turtles. I would think.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely. You only fight progress so long. Am I right? But let's see. So, I think the Turtles would like themselves to be more diverse. I think the Turtles would because the question is like, what would they want? What would they like to be if they came out now?
Yeah,
more well-rounded, right? Bigger universe. Like, Shredder's an element in our universe, but we also do other stuff. We also have other interests.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Other interests.
So
because Donnie would be, because you got to think that like the social media stuff is going to have to be more prevalent in that series. You can't ignore it. So like Donnie's definitely going to be Twitch streaming. Mikey's going to be an influencer, like some sort of like live streamer that's just doing whatever he's doing extreme stuff. And then the other two is where you get it's a little questionable. Leo and Raph, like are they going to be like politically charged? Like one's a social justice warrior and the other one's like
No,
an extremist in some other area. Like I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think the politics would have to get into it as much. You've got enough
Mhm.
diversity between kind of the four humors that they represent that I don't think you would need all of that really, right? Because you got to separate the political stuff from like whatever. I mean, I'm about 3 seconds from going on a rant about this, but like the whole woke, like that's such a dumb fucking word anyway. But like the whole idea is just like you try to label it something, but like, and everyone goes, oh, everyone's getting they're throwing diversity in our face. And all I'm going to tell you is this straight up, and this is just truth, and you can call what you want to. But yeah, when you're privileged, equality feels like oppression. Okay, and that's not necessarily the feelings of Turtle Soup. That's Ryan Guy talking. But all I'm saying is, we get into this, and it's like, oh, I feel like we're marching to the tune, saying like, oh, well, they'd have to be so much more woke. Well, no, the world, right, is just more accepting, and that is progress, and that will never change.
Right.
So here's this: the Turtles would be more. Look, if they're four guys, the percentage that one of them is queer in some way or trans or something like that is not 1 in 4. Okay. The odds are lower than that. Just if you look at the numbers. Okay. It doesn't mean that somebody would, or they wouldn't have a character that was. That's the only thing, right? Is you're just trying to expose people to other ways of life, right?
Right.
So there could be something like that. I don't know if any of them, the one thing about the Turtles really, right, is that like outside of like 2012 did it with like Donnie and April. Where they even threw like sexual orientation into it
a little bit, yeah.
Like the Turtles base themselves don't really need that, right? Like at all. Like either way, like it's what it is. But Jono says Donnie would be a tech giant, so he has answers. Donnie would be a tech giant. He basically invented FaceTime with the TurtleCom. I can see him working for an indie company which is trying to take on Apple. The Apple R&D team keep trying to steal his patents and buy him out, but he won't sell. Leo would stick with the teaching of Splinter. He would open a dojo and teach. Mikey would be a YouTuber. He'd be playing pranks on his brothers and videoing it. I also see him doing toy reviews and comic reviews. And because he's got that YouTube money, he helps to fund Donnie's tech company.
Oh, that's awesome. Neat. That's really cool.
I like this one. Raph would be an MMA fighter. He likes the fact that it's less disciplined and can fight without learning all the katas, etc. He says, "What do you think? Appreciate you, Jono. Jono, thank you very much for all this.
Thank you, Jono. Yes,
like that. It sounds like it's funny because I feel like we're just like not going where Jono wanted us to go. No. I feel like because you based on his answers, right? It's almost like if they came out now, almost like they're older. Like all of his descriptions sound like they're older, like they're out of their teenage years. What would they be doing now if they came out now? Does that make any sense? If they were older, I guess, because all this sounds like they're doing older stuff. Like
I think the way
it sounds like Turtle Co timeline to me.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah. The way I kind of took it was that it's like they're ninjas. Fine, that's fine. But what are they? Sure. What would they want to do? Like, okay,
what are they doing in their lives?
That's my basis. But like foundation. But yeah, no. The MMA for Raph and the more I don't mean to be offensive with that, but the more practiced the difference between the two art fighting styles.
Sure.
With Raph and Leo. That's really cool. That's why when I brought up the political stuff, I was thinking about Raph with like fun with guns, like that kind of Raph, and then Leo being diametrically opposed in that direction. Something with that. This way is way better. Like that's the same idea I was trying to evoke, but Jono did it in a way that's very like I like that a lot better and it's more fitting.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and the YouTube providing for Donnie, oh, that's so good because that kind of ties into the Image Run where Mikey's book, he was getting paid for it.
So that he could like fund. Yeah.
And you wouldn't think that Mikey would be the one that would be funding this. Like Mikey's the one that you wouldn't think would have any money at all. But yeah, I love that idea. I love it. I'd watch that and read it and buy it.
That is legit. So Jono, you got me all. almost like there's like probably some secret Turtletarian thing, right? Where like they all conspire behind like our backs, and they're like, how can they like subtly make me go off on a political rant by not including anything political at all?
Right,
Right?
right.
It's
Yeah,
almost like
not at all.
there's like keyword activations
Mm-hmm.
that maybe get you to say something, then
Yeah.
I hear it, and then I go off, and he's
Yeah.
like, yep,
Gotta-
yep, he's showing the liberal stripe again. Hell yeah, that's all, like whether you're for it or not. I mean,
Yeah, either way.
The
Either
big
way.
thing about me is I believe in persuasion. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not calling anybody out for whatever. I want to have a talk with you about it. Let's do that.
Let's do it.
So let's see our next email.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here.
Did you get the email opener?
Oh shit.
Did you forget about that?
The email openers. Oh dude, that was the funniest. That was an early one.
Yeah.
We talked about the email opener for a hot second.
Yeah, that was fun.
So this is from Daniel Caudill. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name right. Was it more like a caudal or caudill? Like, do you really like sit on the dill part of that? I don't quite know. I'm trying to keep one eye on chat if Daniel's still here because he was here earlier.
Yeah.
Just to kind of see what he might say. But he has an email.
Oh, let's hear it.
This sounds like the topic of my thesis. Okay?
Oh, geez.
So I'm just kind of upset that you stole it. Uniformity versus individuality in the TMNT.
Oh, okay.
All right. This one's from March 2nd. We're not too far behind.
Not too far. We're still in the same month.
Hi, Turtle Supers. On episode 300, you guys talked about your preference for how the turtles look and how there's sort of a constant tug of war between making them look uniform but also individual. I know this is still a ways off for the podcast. What are your thoughts on the presentation of the turtles in Nick's 2012 series? We were just talking about how much we love that. To me, I always really enjoyed the balance they struck in that show of making them appear as a unit, but still having distinguishable physical traits.
Yeah.
For example, Raph has a stockier build with a slight crack in his shell. Donnie is more lanky with a gap in his teeth. Their bandanas are all slightly different. Mikey makes the most cutesy, looks the most cutesy, kind of like the little brother. And they're all slightly different shades of green. On the other hand, I do enjoy how the turtles are nearly identical in the Mirage comics. But there's sort of a practical issue in being able to tell which turtle is doing what at certain times. Oh my God. I think half of this podcast when we were doing the comics was like, I think that's Donnie, right? Because it's just so hard to tell. Thanks for helping fuel my recent return to the TMNT franchise. Really enjoying the pod so far. Best, Daniel. Well, Daniel, thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
Daniel, not Daniel. Daniel's your turtle soup name now. Daniel, thanks so much, and thanks for hopping on the journey. Big fan of the balance they struck in 2012. Personally, right?
Yeah.
Like, I loved the way they looked from the minute they came out. I even suffered through. Remember back when it first started, they had that like trailer that was like the big fight. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
The first time we saw them moving was like, it was almost like a proof of concept of them like all sparring. I've loved them since then. I think they struck a really good balance.
I agree.
I think you can go a little overboard, and we've talked about this before too, right? And I think referencing back to 300, we did talk about that, right? About like, sometimes it's like, oh, does Mikey need the shell necklace, right? Like,
I'm looking
that
around
kind of stuff.
Oh, let me grab something.
Sure. So yeah, like we appreciate like that balance. I know. I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum either, because sometimes people do like them to be like, hey, like, you know, I've seen the turtles look identical in Mirage, and I've seen them look a little more individualistic. Let's crank up the knob to 11. Let's see how different they can look. And I'm about that idea on paper.
On paper,
I have not seen wild individuality like a la the Platinum Dunes movies, a la Rise. Really work for me ever. Right? Like, I've never had it work yet. I'm not saying it can't.
It's not impossible, but like,
I'm saying we saw a baby version of this in Adventures, actually going back to the Turtle Co. Future, right? The Future Shark Trilogy Future version. Where Donnie did have that weird like smoking jacket cloak thing he wore.
Like
Raph had the eye patch and the hat. There was a little bit of differences, and I really liked how that played.
I did too.
I liked how like Donnie. I think Donnie had he was always drawn with like kind of some like lines under his eyes, almost like
he's older.
He had like wrinkles maybe.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that interpretation of them for sure.
I did too. The another one that I liked was the Batman Ninja Turtles crossover that they did, and you've got a bulkier Raphael, but then like a super lean Donatello, and I loved that because when you think about it, or when you like see it at first, you're like, did they have to do that? Did they have to make them different? Really, like, but if you think about their own preferences in different martial arts and like how they like to fight and do what they like to do, it makes sense that Raphael would be a little bit bigger because he'd have so much like. He has so much energy that he wants to keep doing what he's doing, like fighting and aggression and all that. So he's going to be bulked up. Donnie's going to be, working on the computer and stuff. So he's going to know all this stuff and have the physical fit for it to do all the ninjutsu stuff. But he's not going to be overdone. See, and I love that. The first recollection, again, was Playmates when they made the color differentiations.
Yes.
And that might have been Mama Duck for us. But there's still something about that that's just really cool and just it feels right. There's a lot of the Rise ones. I grew to appreciate them. They're not my favorite by any means, but
that movie is badass.
It is.
That Rise movie is awesome. Yeah. And we haven't really, I mean, just given maybe it the minutes it deserves. That the Rise movie is so good.
Yeah.
So Rise tried to play with the turtles being different breeds, which I think is a really cool idea.
It's a neat idea.
I can't say I loved it when I actually saw it maybe.
Yeah.
But I love that idea and I love the effort. I also know that 2012 later, and I didn't watch this, but I kind of just knew of it, that 2012 later on also kind of messed with D&D archetypes for the Turtles, which I think could use another bigger implication or another reiteration maybe to try to get that right. And what I mean by D&D, right, Dungeons and Dragons, is I don't mean literally like the classes where like Donnie is an actual wizard. Like, I cast fireball, right?
Right.
Not that. But where you take the different traditional D&D roles and classes and you kind of work them in a little bit, right? Because Raph is obviously a fighter, right?
Yeah.
Off the bat, barbarian fighter class. That's what he is. Cool. Mikey is obviously a bard. That is what he is. He is comic relief.
Yep. He sings songs. He sings songs in this episode that we're going to review today.
100%. Yeah, no, in some version of TMT, I can see almost where he wasn't that great at fighting. I know that kind of tears a hole in the ninja part, but like, what if he is like his whole thing? The role that he really took on, right, from Splinter and stuff is like evasion. Like you can't hit him. He can't really fight you.
That's really good.
But like
he can annoy you.
Of all of them,
that's really good. Oh, I love that.
He also took the evasion thing. So once again, it goes back to D&D. So he rolls high evasion. So he can get away from anything. Can't really do much about it. And maybe if he rolls real good, he could trip you with his nunchucks and like kind of screw you up. But he's mainly doing that. So he doesn't have to be a badass necessarily with the nunchucks whipping ass. He's got that going for him, right? Raph's the fighter barbarian. So he's always going to be in there. He's the big tank. Donnie feels like a wizard or feels like a mystical class. But once again, don't have him cast fireball. Have his magic be technology. So he attacks from range, right? That's his whole thing with the bow. He's got that reach, right?
Yeah. Oh,
well, imagine if that bow could shoot out nanites. That could screw with you. And it's like a cloud of nanites. And he's got that going on. It feels like a mage, right?
Yeah.
And then Leo's funny because Leo feels like a paladin almost. Like almost like the religious because a paladin is very
follows the rules.
Follows the rules, right? It's all black and white, right? To a paladin, it's all black and white, and there's a higher calling or a higher thing of like his morality is very set. Leo is of all the turtles the most one guy like that.
Yeah.
Paladins can still pick up a sword and whip your ass. Don't get me wrong, right? Absolutely. Like they can fight you, but that is also, or maybe more of the monk, like monk fighter type of class, maybe something like that. A little more in his head.
There. Yeah.
something like maybe not a paladin, maybe he has a paladin's alignment. But there you go, right? You can like, I'd love to see that interpretation, because we're going back to Daniel's concept of uniformity versus individuality. That is a individualities produced by their role-playing archetype.
Yeah.
They're still brothers. They still can look a lot the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't have to be like, they all look like they're from different decades or something. It doesn't have to be that crazy.
Yeah.
But you can tell them instantly by like what they're doing, right? Like, you know, it's show me, don't tell me in that respect, right? Because, well, you might say, oh, well, Platinum Dunes, bro, that was show me, don't tell me. You just look at the turtles and know who's the surfer and who's the badass.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the visual eye, I guess the analogy gets weird, because when you put the shell necklace on Mikey, it's tell me. You're not showing me through his actions. You're telling me visually, like, he is the surfer, bro. Or if Raph is like really big and really stupid and you know, really, you're going, look, see, he's the fighter. Like, you could just have him fight and I would know that, right?
It kind of reminded me of like whenever of two things. Like, one, parents just don't understand. Like, you know, it felt like somebody's like parents like decide, oh, you like the turtles, well, here's what we think they are. And or if you go to Publix or your local grocer and get them to make you a turtles cake, and that's what they put on there, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, oh no, that doesn't, okay, yeah, but no, like, yeah, it's just a whole mess. But yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
Oh, in the chat, really fast update, Daniel, you pronounce it coddle, like coddling a baby.
Oh, nice.
That's good. Yeah, coddle.
Good.
That's Daniel Coddle. Legit.
Well, thank you, Daniel, for that email.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the email. That really got me turning, because I hadn't really investigated kind of in my head that idea of like, what are other ways, right, that you could differentiate them in different ways, right, without having to be like shell necklace, right?
Yeah.
Although once again, I want to reiterate that, like, I believe I can speak for Eric. We both agreed that like 2012 was, at least in my opinion, the best looking version of make them look different from each other.
Yes.
I think that might be one of the best executions.
One of the best executions. Yes.
For sure. All right, moving on. Our last email from Jake. Now, this is only 5 hours old.
Yeah. So we're on it.
We are on it. This is fresh.
This is fresh out the oven.
It's like when you go to Wawa, like, that sandwich can still legally be allowed to be by the register, that breakfast sandwich, because it hasn't gotten too old where they have to cycle it out.
Sizzling.
You know what I'm saying? This one's still in there. Yeah, exactly. Oh, by the way, man, I don't know if your Target has this going on, but the Target near me, and it's had this for a little bit, but I really just started using it now. They have like little Pizza Hut pizzas by the door. Have you experienced this?
Like in a Pizza Hut, like in the thing?
It's in a rack. Okay. It's in a rack beside like a bunch of drinks. It's like drinks and snacks and random crap. You like get, I guess, on your way out, right? Bro, they have these little like 9-inch like pepperoni pizzas, and they're hot as hell and they're really good.
That's an impulse buy now?
Dude,
is a personal pan
get
pizza?
Get this, bro. This is on the way out. This is after the self-checkout. This is after the registers, right?
So you're past all points of sale.
Oh no, you're not, sir. Because there is one self-checkout POS right next to it.
Oh.
That you use solely for that.
That's amazing.
Those things. So I've taken to, and it's been delightful. I have taken to, when I do my grocery shopping Monday after I go to the eye doctor again. I do my grocery shopping, and it's about noon when I get out, and I treat myself to a little Pizza Hut right off the rack.
There you go.
A little soda.
Yeah.
And it's so good. The pizza Hut's so good. It's like criminal, and it's like $5.50 or $6 for like, it fills me up.
Oh,
delicious.
Yeah.
No, they're running that plan, and it's so good.
I love it. I love that so much.
It's so good.
I love the thing I love the most about it is that they have the point of sale there. That they have the thing to do it. Because if they didn't have that, I'd be like, oh, that's kind of annoying. But no, they're like
back around.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I saw that stuff before, but I think I just missed the POS, or maybe they didn't have it there yet. I remember walking out before and being like, what am I going to do? Grab like a snack, like a beef jerky thing, or some nuts, some wheat nuts? Am I going to grab some of my wheat nuts?
Oh, your wheat.
And then I'm going to grab a Coke. and then I'm going to go back through the self-checkout and then leave like that. I'm never going to do that.
No, never.
But no, they got that POS right there.
That's amazing.
Boop, boop.
Boop, boop. That's so good.
So, that's pretty great. So Jake, he's that 5 hour, not 5 hour old. He's that fresh pizza just sitting there at Target on the way out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Your boy says, "Hey, hope things are going well, guys. It's been a minute since I've had the chance to write, and after y'all celebrated 300 episodes, it got me reflecting on both my time with the show and just the past few years in general, so wanted to share some thoughts.
Oh.
I remember looking for new podcasts to listen to in the summer of 2014 for my trip to Chicago with some friends to the Pitchfork Music Festival that year. I looked up Ninja Turtles content and found a show named Turtle Soup covering the Coming Out of Their Shells tour. Instant download. I laughed so hard listening to that episode that I became instantly hooked. I was lucky enough to find out that the hosts were also incredibly nice and cool dudes who shared a lot of my same love for music and movies outside of our shared fandom of for the Heroes in Green. Thank you, Jake. That's so nice. Yes. Also, almost 10 years later, the show is consistently fresh, like that Pizza Hut, the POS. And I'm loving all the new elements you've all been adding. As a lot of Turtletarians can attest to, listening to the show feels like I'm hanging out with friends, and for me personally, has completely helped in tough moments. Unfortunately, I've suffered a lot of loss in my family since 2020, and the majority of last year was spent getting my family house on the market to sell while also giving myself the grace to just breathe a little bit. I decided to take a year off from work, took a lot of trips with my wife, adopted 2 new cats, and had a mission to enjoy the little things in life after 2 chaotic years. In that time, both new and old episodes of Turtle Soup seriously helped me keep me grounded and keep my mind occupied through so much, So I just wanted to say thank you for creating this little community we have. Seriously, the Shredder's Revenge gameplay day you guys had last summer was so much fun. That was a ton of fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
All right, I can keep going on and on, but I want whoever is reading this to go get a drink of water now. Can't wait for 300 more episodes. And again, thank you, dudes, for all the hard work y'all put into this. Else time, then, now, and forever, Jake.
Oh,
Jake, that means a lot. That means a ton, dude.
It does.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I was doing that earlier. Right? Jake, you heard me. Jake,
Jake, if the pizza's not by the door, I'm talking, Jake. If the pizza's not there, Jake, you gotta run. You gotta run. If they don't get the POS, you can't go back. Jake, you gotta run.
Yeah, get past all points of sale. Go. Oh, goodness. Jake, seriously, thank you so much. You're a blessing. We love you very much. And I want you to know that not just you specifically, but also you specifically. We think about y'all, every one of y'all that write in and stuff. Like when we have our conversations after the show and stuff like that, we talk about different ideas and things that people will like. And a lot of your input and your friendships with us influence a lot of this stuff. Like when we do things, like there's certain jokes or something that we'll try to like spitball beforehand, and we're like, oh, I think Jake will like this, or I think someone else will like this. Francisco will love this, this and that. So I want you to know that if from your email you're saying that we've done some stuff for you, you equally being here and writing those emails and like talking to us online and everything like that, that does a lot for us too. You said something very nice to me about my YouTube channel the other day, and I was in the doldrums where, as Ryan, you're an artist too. So you and I, we both talked about this. You create something. Yeah. Art is hard. Again, another cursive reference. Yes. But like you could do it and I don't know, you just don't feel right about it or something. It's fine and you're going to put it out, but you just get down on yourself, and then someone says some very nice things about it, and then all of a sudden you're like 6 to midnight. And I'm like, this is a stranger I met on the internet, and now I've been walking erect since the nice words you said. You know what I'm saying? So like, hopefully that's from the heart. And so hopefully that makes sense. I just wanted to articulate that all of our listeners, patrons, and just regular Turtletarians, if you will, you're all family, and we appreciate it.
I mean, Jake and I are Facebook friends and stuff, and I definitely know the loss he's talking about that happened in the last 2-3 years, and that's a lot to handle, and and if we were able to do like any little bit, that makes me feel great, and
absolutely,
and kind of echo what Eric said. I mean, like having you guys there does the same thing. And Jake particularly, like just like all the music talk, all the different stuff, like it's been great, dude. And I really hope you're on a better page. Sounds like you've been having a lot of fun lately. Like I see you running around doing stuff. So like, That sounds really cool. But yeah, thanks so much for those words. You have no idea what those mean. Because when we started the show, we just kind of straight up said, we were like, well, what if no one listens? And we were like, well, we're just gonna keep doing it while it's still fun. Yeah. Like even if we're just doing it for ourselves, like we don't care because maybe people will find it later or not or whatever. But there's absolutely no way we'd be doing this without people like Jake and you guys, because it's just reached that point. 10 years in, you'd be like, okay, so no one's still listening. Cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Listens.
Like we would like move on to something else crazy.
Yeah.
So having you guys around it keeps us up, and we're so glad that we're able to help you, Jake. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Here's to better years ahead. Because we got a lot more. There's a lot more turtle crap to talk about, and music crap to talk about, and a bunch of other crap to talk about. So we're good. Well, that was it. That was an email segment.
That was an email segment.
Oh, let's see here. So I'm just trying to catch up with chat real fast before you get the content.
Yeah.
There's so much chat, so you can't read it all. But
just whatever hits you.
Daniel says that he loves the artwork in Batman versus TMNT. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I think the IDW series struck a good balance as well. I agree with that too.
Actually, yes, absolutely.
Mitch says, honestly, maybe they start out with the red masks before switching to different color masks.
Oh, that's a good point.
Spoiler alert is definitely an IDW thing, and I love that.
That was amazing.
Let's see here. Darth says, I was always intrigued by the yellow bandana turtle from the arcade cabinet. Oh,
yes.
Singing Eric. You're singing Eric's love. That's the song of his people.
It is.
Eric's been talking to me about that yellow bandana turtle since I think we met.
I love
that was the first thing he said to me.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, what's up? I'm Ryan. He goes, yellow bandana turtle. Oh, by the way, I'm Eric. It was like the first thing.
That's true. It's true. That's amazing.
Let's see here. Oh, John, way earlier, John Clemens, when I was Googling wheat nuts, John goes, oh, so we can Google things now? I saw that. I was like laughing. That's amazing. And then Darth says, that he just began rewatching Next Mutation for the first time recently, which is super neat.
That is.
So we're right here.
Right there
you know what I'm saying? Oh, damn. Michael McDonald's jumped in the chat for a second for Teenage Rootin' Tootin' Turtles. That's hot. I missed that. Let's see. And a lot of other good stuff that's kind of them all talking amongst themselves, really.
Yeah.
Mitch says maybe Shinobi could be another level of ninja in some kind of reimagined. That'd be kind of cool.
We're going to talk about Shinobis. We're going
to talk about Shinobi. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Jake says, I think I prefer the identical look myself. Kind of leaves it to where you have to find out what's underneath character development wise to see what's different between them. That's a really good call.
That's a really good point.
That's also valid.
I was thinking
it's also really valid.
I'm just going to bring it lowbrow a little bit. So I was thinking that like, what if like years later, Eastman and Laird deathbed stuff, they're like, yeah, you want to know how you tell, you want to know the real way you can tell the turtles apart? Their front tails. The sizes are different. That's how in the original Mirage that it was the size of their front tails. And you're like, really? Like, I wasn't that depraved to look.
And it tracks.
Yeah, totally,
it tracks
100%.
all through the entire comic series.
Throughout the whole thing.
Guest period era, all of it. They kept to it. It's just
Baudet.
It's in the Bible, we never knew.
And Sweeney and all of the all the pitch hitters. Pinch. It's pinch, right? Or pitch?
It's pinch. It's pinch hitter
with an N. Okay, like Ninja Turtles.
All batters should hopefully be pitch hitters. That's why they're there. If you think about it that way.
Man, I love it when
you're not a pitch hitter, you're not hitting.
You're not hitting. You're not a hitter.
Exactly. You're not going to be there very long.
I love it whenever like me. See, that's the thing that I love about. I'll think about this like the rest of the night. I'll be so happy about that joke right there because that was unscripted, but that was just you and me. That was that Jordan and Pippin just working together. Oh, that's so good,
bro. Okay, man. So we ready to hop in?
I am ready to hop in. Fun. I am so excited about this. All right, here we go. We're fantastic. Never panic. Let's do it, man. Next, Ninja
Turtles, The Next Mutation, Episode 2, East Meets West, Part 2.
Yep.
Directed by Richard Martin, written by Dan Clark. This episode aired September 19th, 1997. 1997 was awesome.
It was.
A lot of y'all are younger, and that's cool. A lot of y'all were born in 97, and that hurts my heart. But if you were in high school, 97 was sick.
It was.
I'm just going to say that. Can you agree?
I can. Yeah. I was
97 was
high,
great.
But I was I was 1 year behind you. So, yeah, but I could still testify. I knew people that were in high school at that time.
Got it. Okay, so
yeah.
your ninth grade was 97, 98 school year?
Yeah.
Right? At that point? Okay,
That's
yeah. So you're 1 year behind me, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So 96, 97 was that ninth grade, son. And that music was hot fire. There was a lot of great things going on in my life personally. And I become a man. You know what I mean? In a lot of ways. And
in every way.
In this episode, spoiler alert, a lot of people try to become a lot of man real fast.
Very fast.
Really fast.
So. Understandably.
They're basically trying to compress the entire Wonder Years into like 2 seconds so they can be growed at the end of like 5 minutes because there's now a woman around and everybody wants to learn all the hard lessons. We need to have Winnie in here the whole time. It's real bad.
Yes.
And Ben Savage or Fred Savage, sorry, because of that. Ben Savage, that's a different person.
Yeah, Ben is the brother, yeah.
Yeah. So we're obviously trying a new review style, which you saw on episode 300, but it was like a whole gang vocal situation on that. So we're definitely still tweaking things. Not to mention, there are more obvious plot developments in this episode than there was in the pilot. So we're working with it, but we're trying not to get as in the weeds like we were kind of talking about before. As so, just keep all that in mind with this, and let us know what you think about how we're flowing. You know what I'm saying? So this episode is significant because it is the second episode of Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation, which means we get our very first previously on clip.
We do,
before, and I gotta say, it was cut together really well, I gotta say, it made it feel like a big boy show.
It did. It did. They did it really well.
It felt like a big boy show.
Absolutely.
So, and I'm gonna run through that for you right now. So this is like basically. Okay. So in the first episode, if you missed it, we get introduced to the 4 Trolls and Splinter, a character named Chung-E, who is a shinobi shaman in charge of a mystical mirror artifact, or called a looking glass by Mei-Pei Chai, and his daughter and apprentice.
Yes.
She serves both these roles. Mei-Pei Chai, you know what I'm saying? Who is like a cloak on, you know what I mean? Looks kind of like a little dwarf person, like a little hooded. I'm trying to find the right word, druid kind of character. You don't know who that is.
Looking for. Yeah.
Yes, that's the D word I was looking for. So the artifact's been acting up lately. You know what I'm saying? Your boy Chung-E's just like, oh my God, I can't control it. Oh my God, so hard. And Splinter's just like, meanwhile, he's like, I'm on the astral plane in the dream realm, son. And things are getting kind of screwy there. And he's like, what's going on? And that's when him and Chung-E probably make contact, and they know each other through the dream realm. And potentially attended at previously, just in real life, like IRL, like you don't really know, but they're basically on their like special reserve little Discord chat, just them in the astral plane. When Splinter all of a sudden gets burned up like a dang old piece of toast, held in these flaming chains, son, it gets really bad. And in IRL, your boy's on the couch laying there mumbling like your boy here, when I might have had maybe one time I could have gotten 2 of those pizzas on the way out of Target one time because I didn't know if like one would be enough. Right. It's 9-inch pizza. And I'm like, well, that looks really good. I'll grab 2 just to see. And I ate 2. And guess what I was? I was basically Splinter on that couch. You know what I'm saying? Your boy was rolling around. I was going, and I was unresponsive. And it turns out that there's another woman version of me that showed up and helped.
Oh,
I missed it though. I was in the dream realm with the pizzas. The same thing happens to Splinter. Your boy Splinter is ate up, son. He's just mumbling, and they can't get him to wake up. So during all this crap, the Foot Clan invade the sewer. It's our first appearance of them, and they are eventually repelled by the turtles, and they get away. Chung-E then dispatches Mei-Pei Chai to go to New York to help Splinter and his sons. And it's at this moment that, Mei-Pei Chai drops the druid situation. Poof.
How do you like that?
I was staring. I was staring at the the landing page for so long, and it switched the minute from me on my end. The minute I said May Chai is actually it switched, and just something about that image, it got me. It's real good.
I will go to America.
I will go to America. That's how I look and feel every time I wake up in the morning.
Absolutely, 100%.
When I get up,
I totally feel this.
Those are the covers that are around me as I sit up.
Right.
And I go, every time I wake up, my first words are, I will go to America.
I will go to America.
Every time.
Every time. Yep, every morning.
So, we see that May Chai is actually a mutant turtle as well, replete with her bandana and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, what the? And then, always something, never something. I can't remember the song.
We're fantastic, never panic.
That's it. Thank you.
Something like that. Ninja. Ninja. I forget, something like that.
It's not that, you should probably stop because it's not the same without
Michael McDonald's here. That's true. He does.
He runs that ninja, and you and I really can't.
So. I can't. We pale in comparison.
Stop embarrassing me on this podcast by doing it. Actually,
I will stop.
Move on.
I just like saying we're fantastic, never panic because it doesn't really rhyme.
You can say that part.
Yeah,
I did say that part.
Yeah.
I like saying the words you're not supposed to say in a rap song if you're not, you know what I mean?
Precisely.
And what you're doing right now is basically that just all the time.
Right. So but now we're on to episode 2. And like you said, I'm glad you mentioned I called it the So Basically, but I mean like the previously on. That was nuts. Yeah. There's something I gotta admit, like right off the bat, just gonna let everyone know. There's something about this show that's I don't know. My barometer of like where I'm at on this show is leaning very much in the positive, despite everything else I ever thought I would.
I don't know what's happening to me, but just a preview, I'm also feeling that way.
Okay, good. Okay, well,
that needle is very much above. All right, let's put it this way. All right, we got 6. Okay,
we need a vision. Right,
and we got midnight.
Right.
All right. In this needle right now for me, before we even get into this, when I saw that goddamn previously on, 9:30.
9:30. There we go.
9:30, 9:45.
Right there with you.
Like already.
Blood.
And it was just like, So,
I loved it.
We'll see how we feel after this episode.
Right. So, we're in the lair. The turtles. Well, the other thing we forgot to mention, you get these establishing shots. That's another thing.
Yes.
It makes you feel like a big boy, like watching this, or a big person. I don't know what you want to say.
It's really nice. And they're so cool. And bro, here's the deal. And I don't know. No, well, obviously, I think the main show feels like it's video camera. But those establishing shots are 100% film. And you see the grain and it looks like New York in the 90s. It looks cool as hell.
And it looks like dirty and just beautiful.
The establishing shots are so good.
Yes, it's so very good. And it just really sets the tone, and I love it.
It really does.
So the tone right now for the turtles are that Splinter's just like still got shit going on. Like he's on the couch, like the wicker couch,
on the couch,
just out, just done. Just like he doesn't know. He's like, what's going on, and not knowing anything. The turtles, and I love this because like this is probably the first experience they've had dealing with this, like Splinter being sick like this. But they're watching over Splinter. He's like still like dealing with the astral plane stuff, and then all of a sudden they're ambushed by a mysterious stranger. Like all this stuff just like starts going off, and you're like, what the heck? Like what's all this? And it turns out that we see this cloaked person come in, and turns out it's your girl Shinobi. I mean May Chai. Daughter and apprentice.
She was just introducing herself by her title,
precisely, and
of her culture, I guess.
Right. And so, once she's revealed, she goes on to talk about how she was discovered by Chung-Yi at 17 in New York, and suddenly Leonardo is just like, oh yeah, there was a fifth turtle in the jar. I remember now.
Yeah. It's like they use this whole device of like she's told them this stuff already, and then they're like, all right. So Donnie's like, let me get this straight, right? So you were found 17 years ago in New York by Chung-Yi, and she's like, yeah,
right.
That's what I said.
Right, exactly. And then
fifth turtle in the jar.
So yeah, so she was schooled in the art of what was it again? I feel like I really would need her to like. I really wish they would say it a lot. Shinobi, that's what it is. Shinobi. It's
No,
Shinobi.
yes, no, I am
Yes.
Shinobi.
Yeah,
Obviously.
thank you, May Pei Chai for reminding me of
Yeah,
that.
thanks
That
for
she's
working it out for us.
Shinobi.
Absolutely.
And Shinobi also kind of sounds like a buffet restaurant, like kind of like
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Shoney's.
upset.
Like there's probably like
If you're like, hey man, you want to go Shinobi? I'd be like, yeah, go, let's go.
Oh sure, yeah, let's go, pile it on. So yeah, she explains the whole thing that she was supposed to be Chung-Yi's replacement, like he was training me as an apprentice and daughter, and the looking glass
and
replacement slash yeah, she's got a lot on her resume.
A lot.
So the Looking Glass artifact contains an ancient evil dragon, actually supposedly a race of them, more or less.
Yeah.
And that they have been held back for thousands of years in this thing. These dragons have invaded the realm of dreams, which is an area of the astral plane that is reserved for deep thinkers like Splinter and Chung-Yi. Not your normal, common folk, but like
you and I couldn't go on it.
Yeah, no, we could not go on it. I was also thinking about like this seems like some drug induced kind of thing, like a little bit of like I don't know, like but if Splinter hadn't actually made friends on there, I would have been like, no, Splinter's just gotten into some bad weed and he's just in another place. But like this dude, you were right, like it's like some online thing and it's like they're there and it's just very surreal. But yeah, the turtles are like really having a hard time understanding this, and I was too. Like is very strange. I don't know.
Yeah.
What did you think about this whole opening scene? Like how
so this is a good place to stop and kind of just talk about what happens here, right? So like, so first of all, I feel like I can't say this yet. It's in my notes, but I'm not. So May Pei Chai.
Yeah,
we have to wait. Okay, we gotta hold off until it's time.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
May Pei Chai's entrance is awesome. It's so good. Like the Chinese stars, sorry, ninja stars, being thrown into like the light switch and turn that thing off, and they're like, "What's going on?" And then all of a sudden, they're just hog-tied upside down.
Yeah,
that's badass.
Yeah,
and she's just like wandering around, like, okay,
they don't really explain
doing her
that.
thing.
They don't explain that she's the one who did that until like a few minutes later. Then they're talking about it
like
again.
You've got to figure it out.
Oh, yeah. No, I was like kind of perplexed by it at first. I was like, why are they? I couldn't see. Now I'm looking at the image as opposed to it moving. I couldn't see they were tied up. I just thought they were
they're
hanging upside down.
Yeah, they're tied up and tied together.
Yeah,
like their arms are bound together at the wrist, and it's very sophisticated.
It is
like, I think the problem here, right, is that the lights go out and then the intro starts, and the intro song is very long.
And
then it cuts back, and I think the whole idea is like, well, the turtles got beat, and now we're in this part. But it was a weird thing, right?
That's exactly what it was that threw me off. Yeah.
So she absolutely did that, and then like, so this is the part I like, right? So she does all that to like secure the scene, and also I think to kind of show that she can. I can do this to you at any time.
Yeah.
Then she lets them loose.
Right.
And that's when they start their whole interrogation. And I think it's interesting because it really sets the interrogation off to a different like feeling. When you kind of realize like, oh, she can already hang.
Yeah.
So
she's like, I've already shown myself. Like I've already shown you there's no testing. This is essentially This is Kino at the Foot Clan, like with the smoke comes on, except it's not. Well, I forgot Raphael went in and did all that, but nevertheless,
that's the problem. It's what Kino like wanted them to think, right?
Yeah, right.
And then a Crypt Keeper laughed, and we're out. So this also like is weird, right? Because like so when she gets out of it, the turtles just become creepy. Yeah. Mikey is again, without a doubt, the most lecherous turtle. Yes. There's no question. Time and time again, you can rely on Mikey to be the one.
Right.
And it's the same here at this point.
This is the worst.
We have enough. Yes. We have enough points of evidence in different versions of the turtles to just say it's true now. Like, I feel like this is just another nail in the coffin for the fact that Mikey is the most lecherous turtle.
Yes.
Without
this
a doubt.
Is very bad. Like, it's unsettling. Some of it is.
And it is somewhat unsettling.
I get what they were trying to do. I understand it.
Yes.
It's just that it because I grew up in
The
it. Like,
timing.
I understood what
Yeah.
but it's still just, I don't know. It's just really weird.
Here's the problem. The timing's off in that scene.
Yeah.
The way, because it is overdubbed, right? Like, there's things being said by people off camera that are overlapped weird. And what it feels like is like there are a bunch of mosquitoes on her. It is the feeling I got.
Oh,
where
absolutely.
Like one creepy line's not even done before another creepy one shows up.
Right.
And you're like, this was all blocked and shot and edited and overdubbed off. Nobody had an idea.
Yeah.
It was just, let's get all these lines in.
There's even a scene where because they're circling her because Mei Chai is sitting like on a table and they're all like examining her going around. Donnie runs into Mikey at some point because I had forgotten that you had said they had overdubbed it and stuff, and they had to they make a sound, like the sound effects and stuff. Like,
the sound effects are intense.
That wasn't in the script. Like, they just had to do something because that happened in the scene, and I love that from like a looking back on it now. That's kind of cool, but
for sure,
yeah,
for sure.
But then my favorite thing in this was Raphael right here saying she's tripping. Like the lingo is fantastic.
I watched this scene way too many times because I think Mikey says Raph says she's tripping and Mikey goes, she's bodacious. And then Donnie goes, she's here.
Yes.
And that was like my favorite line.
I loved that. Yes.
Because he's like, cut that shit out. There's a fifth turtle sitting on this table.
Right.
Who just incapacitated all of us.
Yes.
And says she's the fifth turtle, not to mention Dream Realm and shit. Guys, stop.
Yeah.
With it, right?
Yeah.
And Donnie and or Leo would be the perfect character to deliver that line. I love that line.
I do too. I do too. Very, very
that was really good.
And quick. Yeah, no, that was fantastic.
But there's a lot of horn dogging going on, and it's weird. It doesn't feel great.
It doesn't.
Yeah, full-fledged mutant hottie.
Yeah.
And she does stick up for herself. And that is your boy. That is your boy Mikey, who needs to take a step or three back in this scene.
He needs to get in the cold sewer or something. Because
I wish I don't know, man. I mean, I wish it was played a little more cute.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
It
does. I
does.
wish they all would have gotten really bashful. And say Mikey, for example, instead of being this way, where he literally touches her.
He does.
He says you're a full-fledged mutant hottie and touches her face. And she shoves him back and goes, get your fucking hands off me. Don't call me that. Holy shit. Right. I really wish that Mikey actually would have been a ways away. Kind of in the corner, doing some bashful looking stuff and trying to pipe up and sound smart. But he's not really that guy.
Right.
I understand them seeing a female version of themselves and them all being I didn't ever know this was a possibility.
Yeah.
Oh my God, things are awakening in me. I get that. That's natural.
And I can understand.
That's natural.
And if it stops here, if it stops this first episode, I can forgive a lot of it.
I really hope it does.
Not to say that would they stopped? No, but I mean narratively. You see a female for the first time and you feel even bringing sexuality into it. All he's known are these dudes, and then he sees the opposite sex, but they're so cultured and they watch television, especially in the 90s. So sex is being thrown at them constantly. So
it's true.
There's something there. I can get that. And then if all of a sudden he's once he gets past the fact that that's a thing, which he kind of sort of does towards the end of the episode, I feel maybe, but maybe just
it doesn't just. Yeah, it doesn't stay this way the whole time or anything. It's just this scene is odd because what they're doing is, I feel we're going really in depth on this, but
we are.
What they're doing is another conflict. Well, the rest is pretty quick. This is the turtles introduction.
Point.
So
yes,
yeah. So what they're doing, I think, is a problem. Is cinematography wise and obviously story wise, they're doing two things, which is, we're learning about all this extra stuff in this scene from her, and Mikey's hitting on her, right? Those don't match.
Yeah.
It feels like an interrogation, but also a not safe place for her. 100, all at the same time, and not in a way that you would normally make an interrogation that's not totally safe feel. right?
Yes.
Donnie's asking real questions, right?
Yeah, like what about
And
leprechauns?
starts making fun of her eventually because he's like, okay, this is really far out.
Which is
like dragons,
totally Donatello's bag.
completely cool. Yeah,
he does not believe in any of this stuff.
You've got Mikey, like literally, like I think I'm in love.
Yeah.
Like you're like, dude. And then Raph strokes his sigh. I'm not even gonna get into that.
Yeah,
that was
very strange.
Watch that a bunch of times and tell me you don't think he's doing something with that, because I rewound that bad boy 10 seconds about 5 times.
Yeah.
And just see if it was intentional.
It was. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that's that scene kind of. So that happens. Then we find that Shredder is obviously super pissed at the Foot Clan for like not doing this thing. It's the classic scene, right? Of I've lost face because you couldn't beat the turtles and this sucks. And he resolves to gather the Foot all together in one big place, rile them up with some kind of Hitler speech, and then run them down to the sewer, and they're going to throw the entire Foot Clan at them.
All 10 toes. He's like, the whole foot.
All 10 toes, man. He's like, I put a couple pinky toes into this, and that's what I'm looking at right now is a couple pinky toes. He also intimates that if when they go in this time, if they don't succeed, they're dead. He straight up says, like, he says something, I can remember the exact quote.
He says it's either by the sword or you're on the sword.
Or you're on the sword. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah. It's in here somewhere. I've got it somewhere. But yeah, he definitely does say that. I think it's later in the episode.
I think it's later because we're kind of streaming this all together. But that's his attitude. His attitude is like, cool, if it takes the whole Foot Clan, I guess it does. So that's their plan. And maybe Chai, she likes to wander around a lot. This is gonna be a theme. I don't know if it keeps being a theme, but it's theme this episode.
Yeah.
So she likes to wander around. So her and Leo go topside just to, I guess, chat. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And important thing happens here. So they're talking about. Oh yeah. They have a bit of a tender moment here, right? Because she's obviously getting a lot of like shell shock. Number one, get it? Number one, because I think it's a little bit like I've removed myself from Michelangelo.
Right.
Like right now to be 100. And Leo's been one of the better ones. Leo makes a couple little things, but Leo's all right. And Leo's sitting there kind of hanging out with her, and she's missing her city and stuff, and missing obviously Chung-Yi as well, given she's never been away from him. And she says she wants to teach the turtles how to dream walk because she's going to need some backup to go free Splinter for the thing. She's basically further explaining to Leo without the actual like interrogation going on,
right?
What I'm here to do, because now she's in more of a safe place. It's one-on-one, and Leo's not horn dog on it, so it's fine. And she's like, I want to teach y'all how to dream walk. But then this conversation just turns into them realizing that Leo tells her that the turtles are not brothers.
Yeah.
Genetically. Which we knew last episode just because we just know this, but it was never said.
Yeah.
Right? It is laid out here.
Yeah.
That they are brothers, but they were from the same turtle farm, but they were not from the same mother. Which means Mei-Pei Chai, being the 5th turtle in the bowl, is not their biological sister.
Yes. So they can do it.
And it gets awkward. Leo says, yeah, I'm just a turtle guy and you're a turtle gal or something. And she goes, oh, well, we better get back to the lair. Straight up.
Right. No, you and I are just mutant boy and mutant girl.
That's important. And it's the only time you see Mei-Pei Chai look bashful. Like she understands what that means. She's like, oh, wow. Okay. I need to think about this because look, right.
Yeah.
Like
it's a lot. It's a lot to happen.
She's seen 4 male turtles, dude. Yeah. Right. Like
this is her first time seeing them.
Yes. We're making it all about, the horn dogs over there because like they suck all the air out of the room.
Right.
And but she's also looking at her opposite number going, whoa,
right.
Like I'm having to confront that.
And
right?
if you're just, let's just say like, because your brain's thinking 1,000 things, especially at that age.
Sure.
So the guys are thinking if they're so into her, which they all presumably seem to be in some form or fashion.
Sure.
Let's just assume that they are. They only have one option if that's what they want. Maybe 2, just being asexual. But still, That's the one choice, more or less.
Oh yeah.
She's got 4 if she wants to stay in her thing. And these opportunities, these options are just thrust upon her now. So there's a lot going on here, which is really nuts. But again,
all of us,
go ahead.
As biological creatures, really fast, right? As biological creatures, we're all programmed to procreate and continue our gene line. That's literally like that's like instructions number 1 in the back of our brain, right? In our brain stem, that's what it's constantly telling us to do, that because that's survival, right? Imagine how, this is not a defense of Mikey's actions or the things he said or did, but it is a hell of a thing to see that opportunity open up and be like, that's the shot then.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, like he's taking his shot now, like he's doing it, like
no, like, well, I don't know if you're taking the shot, but I mean, like, so imagine 4 brothers who all have the genetic programming to continue their line.
Yeah,
see one female version of them, and all of their instincts are telling them that like that should be a thing I have to do. Right?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Or,
like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thinking about it that way definitely is something else. Because that's another thought, a layer of that process that's like deep seated that you might not even recognize. Yeah.
There's a lot more driving them, right? Potentially.
Yeah.
Well.
And this is like this is where I normally don't like potty humor, but the fact that she keeps referring to the sewer as a toilet, that was getting me so good, because
it's the cute, it's super cute.
It's so good. Super cute. So good. We should return to your home in the toilet.
And she keeps doing it, and she does it in because the writing here is good, because like they don't overdo it.
No,
she does it a few times, but like it's a few, so they kind of pull the gag, I think about 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times.
And it's 3 strikes you're out. It's a perfect amount. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. So back in the lair, they're Mei Chai, she's there, and she's all like, are we, is this safe? Like, or everyone's like, is this safe? Donnie doesn't understand, because he's like really worried, and all the turtles are, because they're like, we got to fix Splinter, but we don't know. And
this ain't great.
And she's not very reassuring. She says it's not safe, but it's necessary. And then then she yells, I do not need I do not require protection. And this is where she does her thing to get onto the the dream world, and we get our first full glimpse, backside of the Dragon Lord, who is here, and he's like torturing Splinter. Got Splinter bound like Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport in the back of his Shidoshi's that do you remember that scene where he's got the bamboo sticks and he's being stretched? Like, that's what Splinter looks like here, except it's with fire, and they're in the they're in a screensaver world.
Absolutely.
So Mei Chai instantly dream walks upon them, and the evil Dragon Lord, he's just talking about like all this stuff, and just saying like, we're gonna come back, we're gonna take over everything, like this world's gonna be ours, and I really like what they do, because he's asking Splinter like what would you do if you were in my situation, where we once had the world, and then you came over and invaded and took it over? And I'm like, oh, this is
like, wouldn't you want it back?
Right. Yeah. And I'm like, I wasn't expecting this out of this series at all. And so Splinter just keeps calling him a fool, which I thought was hilarious. But at this point, we get introduced to another character after Splinter talks about how there are humans with nice hearts, good hearts. This character shows up, this Muppet-looking ass character, coming in on like a ball of fire, like saying things like he'd rather eat a rat's eyes and all this other shit.
Did you get his name?
His name is Wick.
I got Wick.
His name is Wick. Yes. His name is Wick. And so he's there, and apparently he's like the obedient servant of the Dragon Lord.
Yeah. And like Salacious Crumb type character. Yeah.
Precisely. Yes. And so they're going back and forth still, the Dragon Lord and Splinter and Wick. And then the Dragon Lord is saying stuff like, the turtles they're gonna come here or something like that. And Splinter's like, how? And then he's like, she'll teach them. And but this whole time, Mei Chai's been behind him, so she's freaked out, because she's like, oh, he saw me. She felt seen. And so, so she ends up going off the astral plane, just like logging out, like you hear the door slam, like on AOL, like
no.
That's what I heard.
No, seriously, no, that reminds me a lot of like almost like a shadow run, like like in Shadowrun game, like when you're in the thing, it's like jack out, like you like hard unplug from the internet because you're like trying to run away, like no, just get out of there.
Yeah, so she
also you missed the part where Splinter says, "How my sons can dream walk, you can't walk."
Yes,
you missed
that's
that
true.
part.
That's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, sorry, fool. My pupils can't dream walk. I love that fool. You just call people fool. Mei Chai freaks out and just does what everyone does. Runs to the park at middle of the night in New York City. Nothing could go wrong here. And she decides to wander around Central Park, sees a statue that she just admires. So she's all like, oh, looking up at it and just being like, oh, okay, cool.
How beautiful.
And this is when the Foot Clan attack. The Foot Clan come up, and there are at least 4 of them. And they do their wonderful drop kicks and looking like they're dancing and stuff. And I'm making fun of them, but some of these scenes were shot. They kept my attention, and I was like, "Oh, yeah!" Like it looks like parkour, but whatever. I mean, it's fine. And so
what they're doing well that I like in that scene is I really like how they like, and the choreographer does this all through this episode,
right?
They really use the scenery.
They do.
They totally really use the set pieces, man. Like, so they're fighting by the basically playground, and they're using the slides and the bars underneath and the swings and the thing here and the teeter totter. Like they're using every bit of it to do stuff off of, and I think that's really cool.
Oh, absolutely! I thought that was fantastic. Yeah, she runs up the slide saying it's slippery and all that stuff. Like it's really funny. So at the same time,
up in the scene.
So at the same time, while this is happening, the turtles are in the lair and they're trying to figure out where she went, and she's been gone for very long. So they're just all sitting around, not sure what to do, and it's really weird because like Mikey's got like a racket, like a tennis racket, and he's strumming along, playing, singing a song about this girl, just really showing.
The goddamn blue balls is about the realest. This scene makes me almost believe you about blue balls. Like I'm serious. Like this scene, this is the closest I've ever come to believing that's real. Is this scene right here?
Well, there you go. Well, normally blue balls can be relieved if caught early enough with mega shellage, if you will. That's how you get rid of that, for those who don't know. And what happens is that the turtles are in there, they're trying to figure out what's going on and they're not sure what to do. Leo says something to Raph, like it's time you go do something or whatever. And so Raph is just like mega shellage, and he gets on his bike and just takes off and he yells shellquake as he's driving down the road, like just saying shit. I've never driven a motorcycle, so anybody who's ridden a motorcycle, driven one, rode one, whatever you do with one, do you have to say like catchphrases while you're doing it? Because like I don't know, like this is a lot of my experience, or most of my exposure to this. Well, that and Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider's mostly quiet.
I always heard that that's actually how they kind of pick you maybe early as a prospect for like a motorcycle gang. That it's a big test. It depends on what you say the first time you go fast.
Oh,
and they're listening.
Oh, okay. They're
listening. For example, if you say something like "Whoa, boy, howdy," they just let you keep driving.
Yeah, just go. Just pass go. Yeah.
If you get on there and you're like, "Yeah, Satan," they're like, "Oh, hey, like, yeah, come on over, man."
So
like,
Shellquake is pretty good.
It's like a Shellquake's pretty good. Yeah, it's got like a true colors shine through in those moments kind of situation.
Oh, okay. So like a
Cindy Lauper.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm
very much like that.
I'm with you. Well, this is really good. This is really good because Raph shows up and the whole time he's like, "I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna save you." And she don't need nobody. She don't need nothing.
No.
She don't need no help. So so while everything is happening, the statue right here in this scene, this foot soldier right here kicks the head off of the statue. They show that, and they don't tell you what.
Which is a terribly misplaced kick.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, because that statue's like 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty tall. Like it's really tall.
It is.
Maybe 9 feet tall. Yeah.
And he just kicked like that. Now think about it. So this is a foot soldier that can kick the head off of a statue.
That's impressive.
They're
cooking with gas.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So So anyway, Mei Chai gets rid of all the Foot Clan right as Raphael shows up. So then so Mei Chai puts her hand on the head of one of the defeated foot soldiers, and we find out that she has a new power, or a different power. She can read his mind, and she goes, "Your enemies are planning a second attack," and trying to let the Raph know that what they got to go do. And she suggests that they return to their toilet tonight, and to get to reconvene, and
in your toilet tonight.
Yeah. So
that should be the next Creeps album title right there.
That should be the next Creeps Anonymous record. But once they get to the lair, Mei Chai comes in with the head of the statue. And what's funny is that before she does, there's a whole conversation about between, I think it's Leo and Mikey. Yeah. Leo says, Mikey says, oh no, I have a note about this actually. So Mikey is like, someone's like, where are they? Where is she? Like, why is she taking so long? Like, this and that. And then Mikey does this thing. He goes, oh, you know how girls are. And intimates kind of like an effeminate kind of gesture. And
sure.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. And then, but then Leo saves it by saying, no, I don't know how girls are, because he's only been around April, really. Arguably not confirmed that she even exists right now, but that's fine. Right, exactly. So then that's when she comes in, and a quick note that I discovered: as soon as they come in, Leo says, "Hey Venus, what's the statue head?" So he calls her Venus before Raphael actually names her Venus, because they start talking about what happened. Mikey. Yeah,
Leo's technically the first one to use it.
Yeah, he's technically the first one. But then Mikey says, he puts his hands up like he's showing the picture, and he goes, making like a frame or the TV. He says, I call this picture Venus de Milo by Angel of Death or something like that. And so that's where they start calling her Venus, but then she's still insistent that she's Shinobi over and over again, just, letting you know.
Yeah, I don't think that's not even your name. What?
Yeah, not even her name.
Why do you keep saying I'm Shinobi? It's like...
Right.
What?
Right. Exactly.
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah. Nothing. No, she's Venus now.
Oh yeah. So now we can
use the name
Venus. That's
now we can do it. It's Venus, and I gotta say, it came about pretty naturally. It felt like how you make nicknames for someone.
Yeah, and
that's how she got it.
And it's Mikey doing it, which is awesome, because that's in line with like the 2012 series and a lot of other things that the Turtles have done. So
now, I don't know, getting for a second into the name, I don't know if they meant to do this, but it is interesting that the 4 turtles are named after artists, and she's named after a piece of art.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
that's a little weird.
A little weird. But
right.
I do like it, though. I like the name. I think it's cool. But like when you break it down like that, it is a little different. But
what's really funny is that led me down the rabbit hole to just reading more about the Venus de Milo in general, and a lot of the hype around I didn't know if you guys knew this, but a lot of the hype around like why the Venus de Milo is so big, like why it's so whatever, was literally just a bunch of propaganda by the Louvre, straight up. Because, like, granted, it is old. It's from like 125 or 150 BC. It's old as shit. But the problem was when it was unearthed in I want to say 1860, but I could be wrong. And they actually found it and shit, right?
Yeah.
They brought it into the Louvre, but the big deal was that the Louvre had just had to give back all of their Napoleonic stolen art, all their gains, like all the stuff that Napoleon stole that made the Louvre so badass.
Yeah.
They had to give it all back. So the Louvre was just half empty. So they put the Venus de Milo in, and they were like, the Venus de Milo, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And because they were writing about it and stuff, all the artists in France kind of followed along. And they would just talk at parties and write about how beautiful she was. You know what I mean? It was almost like a whole thing. Whereas the one that she replaced is an older Greek statue.
Yeah.
Called... Damn. I can't remember its name. But it belonged to Italy. It was like
Okay.
it's called Agrippa in something, or
Okay.
Agrippa does something, and it was a better version, right, or a better like example of Greek stuff.
Yeah.
But they had to give it back to Italy. So they were basically like, screw that, the Venus de Milo, baby, and then a lot of its hype,
right,
like a ton of its hype. Also, that the Venus de Milo used to have a plinth, like a plinth that sat on. And it had the artist name, and then it said when it was made.
Yeah.
And technically, this was created after the classical era, so it's not as like desirable. So they just broke it off.
Oh, geez, to get rid of that,
put it in the Louvre to say it's classical Greek.
Oh my goodness!
Tell me it ain't classical Greek. And like, yeah, so that was just very fascinating. I didn't know.
Oh, absolutely.
I did always ask myself a little bit why.
Right. Why they went with that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, why is it so famous?
Right.
Because don't get me wrong, it's beautiful, right? But like Michelangelo's David is like epic as hell. Like, there are so many other pieces of that era artwork. And granted, I know that David's from the Renaissance. I understand that they're different. It's ancient art versus, I get all that. I'm just saying there's a lot more stunning ones than the Venus de Milo. And the best thing about the Venus de Milo is the Spinal Tap album Intravenous de Milo.
Intravenous de Milo. Yes. Yes.
Which is my favorite.
My favorite. Yes.
Anywho.
Well,
you got anything to say about that little section there?
The thing that I loved the fight scene, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
I liked this give back to Mikey. So when they find out, the rest of the turtles find out that she can read minds, Mikey goes, "You're not reading my mind right now, are you?" Which was like, oh, geez.
Oh, damn. Good point.
Oh, my goodness. And then she says, "Your mind is empty, numbskull," or something, calls him something. And I thought that was good. Okay, so it's like, she's coming right back. It's not like she's like whimpering or like taking. She's fighting back with him, and I 100%. Appreciate that absolutely. So that's about it really, because like we kind of went through it all, or those scenes.
So we're coming to the big climax, the end of the episode. So Venus, so Leo right here, really the turtles. Last episode, and you hear Leo's not much of a leader.
No.
And I think the reason that he's not, writing wise, is to put Venus more in the limelight.
Right.
Because she 100% leads. You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh yeah.
If Leo leads, he only gets that one word in the theme song, that's shit's Venus leads now.
Venus leads.
So he lost that word.
Gone.
Because she organizes the hell out of them. She's like, all right, look, we got to save your master on the in the dream realm, but y'all need to learn how to dream walk before we can even do that. But we can't do that while we know there's going to be a full-on raid, like at any moment, with the entirety of the Foot Clan, which we can't win. So what we're going to do is first we're going to kill your enemies, and then we're going to come back and dream walk to go get your master. And they're like 100.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I liked that. That was pretty badass.
I did too.
Don't get me wrong. I had a bit of a, oh, that's it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Just go take down the Foot Clan and Shredder.
Yeah.
Once and for all.
Yeah.
And then come back and learn how to dream walk. Sounds great.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like, do you think we're going to need a couple nights to get this done, or can we get it all done in one night? Venus is like, oh no, we'll be like in bed by midnight. And he's like, are you kidding? Okay, fine. I guess. Sure. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they do. The turtles and Venus stake out the hideout. And Donnie gets to show his tech a little bit. He's got his goggles that say things like Mondo, sicko, we're gonna kill him, like up in the top for no reason. It says like turtle dialogue.
It does. I didn't get the screenshot of it, but yeah, it totally does.
It just says like, oh, massive baddies and shit. You're like, why is it saying that? Like, it's just saying different things. Anyway, it probably has some like rogue AI in it that's just like can't do anything because it's not connected to the internet.
Right.
It's just crazy inside there. And he's like, it talks to me. I don't know what it's saying, but anyway, you're like, Donnie, that's scary. So they decide to go mega stealth, as you can see on screen. So they get in there pretty quick. And then we get to see effectively Shredder is setting up his entire Hitler speech moment. The guy finally hits the gong. We get to see this happen. Hits it 3 times. Hits it so damn hard, the whole thing breaks.
Breaks.
That's how you know.
Oh yeah.
It's standing room only.
Oh, I
at
love
the Foot
that.
Clan.
I thought that was hilarious. Yeah.
And he comes out like a televangelist. It is.
He totally does.
Wild.
Yeah.
He starts speaking in tongues. He starts doing all this stuff, and they are getting whipped up. And I do like this because he acknowledges in that scene earlier that he needs to whip the Foot Clan up to go fight, and then you see it here. It adds a really cool like cult of personality thing to the Foot Clan and Shredder that I like. It's a cool interpretation of it, right? Because you do wonder like why are these guys? Because so in movie 1, right? It's always like, yeah, man, it's just kids off the street.
Right.
Like they're just like kids, and then they, it's basically regular menthol, and then all of a sudden you're one of the Foot Clan. And you're fighting, and you have no name or face, you have nothing, you're just member of the Foot Clan. Why would you the first movie did try to say, the reason they do it is because like they just want the cigarettes and they want to play video games and smoke cigars all day.
Right.
And they wind up being a Foot Clan. But here it seems to be more like, they're obsessed with him.
Like it's a cult.
He's a cult leader.
Yeah.
Or like one of those kind of really crazy, like religious leaders.
Yeah.
Like a cult leader, like in a religious way, because they just keep shouting his name, and he's basically throwing the hate speech. Like, oh, these mutant reptiles, our job is to destroy them and all this stuff. And they're just getting into this hate speech, and they're just getting in more and more and more. And I think that's a cool angle that Shredder's like, no, I need to go whip up the crazies. I need to go whip up my followers, and they'll march somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
I do.
I whip them up, and then they'll go march somewhere, and then maybe people get hurt, and then maybe people deny it later, like it didn't happen or something, like it just like wasn't a real thing.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I wasn't there. I said I would march. I said I'd be right behind him when we marched down to the lair, but I shouldn't be responsible. One way or the other. So this is the best part. So while this is all going down, you got the 4 turtles and Venus are all on top of what looks to be, at minimum, a 12, 14-inch thick I-beam.
Yeah.
Okay? Fine, don't worry about it. It starts to crack.
Yeah.
They are right above Shredder and them. And it starts to crack. And yes, they fall.
Yeah.
These close-up shots on Mikey were weird.
They were very weird.
This isn't good. I was like, I don't know if I like this. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, absolutely, they fall. Now, Venus is able to grab a hold of a rope and doesn't fall right away. But the turtles get to picking themselves up and throwing some stuff. It's funny. They're trying to kind of like kind of make the moment less awkward. There's almost like they're kissing up to Shredder. Like Leo in particular goes like, Shredder, is it me, or do you look a lot more shiny tonight? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And Mikey's like, oh yeah, definitely. He looks great. And you're like,
your shininess. Your shininess.
Yes. Oh, your shininess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they start fighting, right? And they're doing a good job. Once again, in this fight scene, I feel like they really do a good job of using the goddamn scene. They are on the boxes. They're sliding through boxes. They're jumping through pipes. They're doing everything they can use to do it. And I feel like that's good effort.
Oh, absolutely.
I like the effort because we all seen Saban.
Yes.
When they fight in the park and there's nothing around. Remember that?
Yeah.
Every episode of Power Rangers is basically early Power Rangers is like there's not a tree or a bush or a piece of metal for like 50 yards in either direction. They're just in the grass and it's just we fight like this. Here I do believe a little more that like that one-on-one, the classic the ninjas all attack at the same time.
Right.
When you throw in the Shredder like cult of personality thing, and then you throw in the fact that they're fighting in this kind of like rough, kind of tight area, it makes sense that they wouldn't all go in at once. I don't know. Choreography was nice.
It was great. Yeah, I thought, it feels like they all go in at once. It does. Like, here it does. Here it does. I see what you're saying though. Like, on other scenes, you're like, wait, what? But like here, it feels like they're all ganging up on him, and it's when I was watching this, I felt like, I definitely got the Saban vibes because that, he had a hand in this.
100%.
But it also felt like they have learned, because this was what, 97? So
Yeah,
Power
they've been doing some Rangers for a minute.
so they've got some experience behind this, and and it shows. It's pretty good.
It's cool too because especially like what they did really well. I hate to belabor the point here, but one thing they did really well, I think that you picked up on, because I definitely did, was how even in scenes where not all the Foot Clan are in there really like throwing punches, right? It is kind of a one or two guys go in at one time.
Yeah.
They stage the other Foot Clan so that they're right up on top of the fight circle, and they're all like chanting and like throwing their fists.
Yeah.
Like they're all like they're like howling, basically. They're like insane with rage. And like the only reason they're not going in right now is because they're in the middle of like this like screaming like they're souping themselves up to go in almost.
Right.
And it really sells. I
agree.
like I said, I didn't expect to walk away from Next Mutation episode 2 saying things like they really sold the choreography on me.
Yeah, no, I was not either.
But they did a really good job. And like you're saying, it does feel actually when you said that, it really lined up for me. It feels like it's Saban, the Saban teams with a lot more work under their belt. Like and realizing like, well, we can't just fight in the middle of the park at noon.
Yeah.
Like, let's go somewhere else fun to fight, because why wouldn't we make it cool?
Exactly.
So they fight until they're all knocked down, because much like Chumbawamba, you know what I'm saying, you get knocked down to get up again. You know what I'm saying? And they get knocked down, they're hoping for that, and then Venus drops in literally, and she actually hurts herself. Just the way she fell.
Which is surprising to me. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. And Shredder, her conversation with Shredder is very much, oh, you weak woman. And she physically, it's not that she's just on the ground and he goes, you're weak because you're a woman. She hurt something because she's trying to get up and she can't, right? Yeah. Which is valid. I mean, I don't know. You throw 5 ninjas off a steel beam. I'm sure 1 in 5 times that ninja gets hurt. I mean, that's what happened, right? She's laying there like whatever. And the turtles are down too, so they can't do anything. But don't worry about it, because Venus goes ahead and solves a problem that the TMNT and Splinter and all them have been trying to solve since 1984.
Oh, I love it.
And she lets Shredder get up close to her, and then she hits him with the Miley Cyrus, whatever it is some kind of green energy. And she starts getting in his head, and she says things during this sequence that are badass.
Oh, yeah. I was not expecting.
She says, I was not either. I didn't know what she was going to do. I didn't know she was going to cast Fireball. I didn't know what was going to happen. Mm-hmm. But I did not expect her to say things like, you are not Oroku Saki. He drowned in a lake of hate.
Yes.
Or an ocean of hate or something like that.
Yeah.
Then she goes, but I beckon you. I call you Oroku Saki. Look through these eyes and see what you've become. See your shame, kind of shit. And she casts a reflection of Oroku Saki in his own damned gauntlet.
Yes.
And he sees it.
Yes.
And that guy in that reflection, and this gave me chills when I watched it, okay? In a very like, you know, sometimes like that, those like 80s horror movies can show you something that looks cheesy, but you get this fundamental fright out of it because it represents is like wild to you.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
She casts a mirror because she's mirror based. I love this shit. This is, I got deep
I
on
didn't
this.
even put that together.
Because of the looking glass, right? Because she has so much time in the looking glass. This
daughter and
me.
apprentice. Yes.
Okay. Daughter and apprentice and eventual replacement. So she's got to know all this. She casts an image of Oroku Saki in his own gauntlet to make him look at what he was, so that Oroku Saki could see how far he has fallen.
Right.
Okay. There's things said here too that I thought were interesting. This is one hundo Mirage / movie 1 continuity. He mentions finding Splinter so he can cut his other ear off. He says that while he's angry.
Yep.
Yep. And he has the scars on his face from Splinter when he was only a rat. Right. So this is this suggests the existence of Ting Shin potentially. There's a lot, right? We're in this mode. Okay. So it's kind of important to know that Splinter in this show, just so we know, is rat origin, not human origin.
Correct.
Because they're playing to all the rat origin stuff here.
Yes.
So, right. So we'll just keep that right there, which is funny for a show that when it first was getting hyped, said it was going to be a continuation of the 87 animated series.
Oh yeah.
And then positively not. No. It's the good origin, which I'm a fan of.
Right.
Shredder collapses. Ostensibly done. Straight up. He says basically that she did not defeat Shredder. Oroku Saki defeated him.
Yeah. That was
And
nice.
I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. And then he's done.
Yeah.
And then Leo has to make a speech to what remains of the Foot Clan.
Because Venus tells him, she goes, because again, to your point earlier, she's leading. She has to tell Leonardo, speak to them because they're lost. They don't know what to do. The Foot. And you see the Foot like they're pulling out their knives, but they're not sure really what to do. So he grabs the microphone that they have there hanging, and he goes, "It's over," and he's in his New York accent saying all that stuff, and just basically saying the Foot's done, all this stuff. It's been fun.
He said something like, he said something about the man you followed was crazy or insane, or your leader was insane.
Y'all aren't family.
Like that.
All this stuff like that.
Oh shit! No, oh man.
Yeah, and it was just it was not. But the fact that she was
crazy.
Get up and speak to them. And I loved that.
Leo, disband the Foot Clan.
Yeah. In the episode 2 of this.
Yes.
Your main protagonist, bye.
Yes.
Just done. And
I'm like, that's crazy. Yeah. And then really that's it, because they recover. There's a vibe for sure, because they're all kind of, they're saying like, hey, we're ready for our dream walking lessons. And she's like, cool. And she finally peels away just a tad of that kind of more stony exterior she's had kind of the whole episode, where she's on guard because she's like, oh my God, like, first of all, you're gross.
Right.
Second of all, I'm here to do a job, and you guys are like a bunch of chuckle fucks, like playing a tennis racket like it's a guitar and hitting on me and calling me a mutie hottie and all this crazy, like, holy shit. She starts to drop that more and kind of like joke with them and stuff. And we see that she's actually like in the fold now. Right.
Yeah.
That was pretty huge.
That was.
And
and
that's kind of it. They all head out.
Yeah. They all go back to their home in the toilet. And
right.
Yeah. And so I really enjoyed that. I loved. Let's talk about this this little scene that we just covered real quick. I totally loved the way that Shredder was just done with. The way that they did it. It had. I hate to say. It's weird. I wasn't expecting I wasn't expecting him to be done with so quickly, and I wasn't expecting it to be done that way. But the fact that you bring to light the fact that, because you can like read so much more into this, that Shredder at one point did have some honor. He was a long-standing member of the Foot Clan, arguably, and they weren't always bad, or in some iterations they weren't. But nevertheless, let's just give it the benefit of the doubt and say that there is a man who has a code, and there's honor there. And if you could appeal to him, and after this hatred for so long, especially if this ties into movie continuity, this is years of hatred and failing again and again and again, just bringing that failure to light and just being done. It's like, if we're Mirage / like TMNT, 1 origin, then he's had this hatred for Splinter and Tang Shin for decades. He has lost his way. And I'll say this, man. And I know, like, maybe some of you, if you're new to the show, you're gonna go, all right, these guys are just like blowing this show up because like they're covering it on their podcast, and like, of course they're gonna say they like it because they're Turtles fans and they like everything. We don't. No. There's a lot of things really don't like. We're very picky, and we're actually pretty shitty about a lot of stuff. But what I'll say about this is, what was that? I said most things. We're really shitty about most things. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah. I'll say this about this plot line about how you're going to do away with Shredder, to be 100 with you, is actually way more comprehensive and way more actually intelligent than about 9/10 of the way Shredder's dealt with, including many comics we like, including many movies we've seen that we like, and in almost every situation.
Yeah.
This is actually one of the most cerebral ways to solve the Shredder problem.
Mm-hmm.
And if you came up to me with this on paper, and I didn't know that this was Next Mutation, let's say you're telling me about IDW, and you go, dude, did you hear they finally got rid of Shredder in IDW? I go, what?
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, get this, dude. They get in his head and they're like, yeah, Oroku Saki, look at yourself.
Yeah.
And and he more or less, I don't know if he's dead now, but he basically destroys his own soul. Right. He's like, I hate what I've become. I'd go, that is some badass IDW shit. I got to read that. That's wild.
Right.
I would love it. So I'm going to give this show credit because while it was a little bit out of nowhere, and you're sure the special effects were cheesy and stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
This is 10 times more cerebral than almost any way I've seen Shredder dealt with.
Absolutely. And the thing that, to that point, you could also see this as him redeeming himself. At the very least, giving himself honor, like a seppuku kind of sort of similar situation, saying that he's dead. If he's not, and he's like no longer the Shredder, then he's kind of redeemed himself in that way too, which is a big thing in my experience from like watching a lot of Kamen Rider, where like the bad guy eventually like kind of comes around and something happens at the end where he realizes that, or they realize that they've messed up and they do something to change. There's something very, they do that in tokusatsu, which is like, you know, the genesis of like what we call Power Rangers and whatnot. But then think about this too, and this might take the piss out of it a little bit. You could also say that Shredder saw that, so I haven't been able to beat 4 turtles. Now there's a 5th one, and and it's a lady. Well, goodness. Yeah. Goodness. Like if he just thought about
just
math.
Got in my head.
Got in her head. Done. Just game over, man. So you can kind of look at it that way too. But either way,
good point.
The fact that this was all in one episode is insane. And it was done so, like, it didn't feel like any part of this was wasted. This all felt like this is all just like, I don't know a euphemism or a analogy for this, but just oops, all good stuff. Oops, all oops, all plot. There you go. And
definitely
great.
Oops, all plot. So what's funny for me right on the back end, if we're wrapping up our thoughts on my end, it's funny because I don't know if I've ridden a roller coaster like this one before totally. So it starts off with like Venus's super cool entrance and you're like, oh hell yeah, I love this. Sick. And then it turns into like, honestly, a lot of crap I didn't like, and just like, it was almost just painful to watch the hitting on her and the, crap, because like we discussed all this before, right? I'm not gonna reiterate it, but like I would have taken a lot more of like a more bashful, like kind of like, oh, I'm shy around her because I like her kind of route because it's not so lecherous, and I really don't need that. Right? Just don't need that in my life. And obviously, and this is the most painful part of it, right? Venus doesn't need it either. No. Like she's not cool with it. And she has to at one point leave because it's just like too much. Right?
Yeah.
I hate that. Hate all that. But then I love it again. Yeah. Because then like they get her back and they're like, we got to go take out the Foot Clan. And they're like, I guess. And then guess what? She does. And then I love it. So I don't know, right? It started for me when I was watching it. I was kind of like, oh shit, okay. And Mikey's like, I work out every day, and I'm like, I hate that. Why? Like, I almost knew it'd be like this, right? I knew that when she showed up, that's what they would do. I was hoping that the show would prove me wrong, but it didn't.
Yeah, I can see.
Then all of a sudden, it's fine. And you touched this earlier, and I'm with you. I really hope that the camaraderie is like this next episode. That they're just cool.
Yeah.
That they're just like they're like a team. We had people in chat earlier kind of saying, like if they were biologically related, all of this would have been much smoother.
Right. Yeah.
And I think I 100% believe that. I think that if they were all siblings, they'd go, "Oh my god, we just found a sister."
Right.
And that'd be it.
But it does create tension, and it boxes them in if
Sure.
you do that. My argument really is kind of a thing. So this is kind of tangential. We were watching a YouTube not a documentary, well, whatever it is. Some guy does a deep dives on old Nickelodeon shows, and he's going through all the stuff. It's called Knickknacks. I've talked about it on the show before. It's fantastic. The channel's Pop Arena. Go check it out. It's really great. He did Salute Your Shorts, and I loved that show. He talked about the character Donkey Lips, who was the stereotypical heavier set kid in the cast, and they do a lot of kind of mean child bull. Not necessarily, I guess it's bullying, blanket statement. But
what
kids
show
being
is this again?
Salute Your Shorts.
Yeah,
on Nickelodeon. Yeah, Donkey Lips. So they do some fat jokes and stuff. But and so at first you're watching it, you're like, well, this is the worst. This is horrible. Why would they do it? And then you see that, like, well, they build from that. And so there's a part of you that wants to say, well, they shouldn't have any of that in there at all, because then it just promotes it. But at the same time, it gives you it shows a character growth. And at some point you have to, like, allow someone to be terrible. Like, this is all, like, you can take this out of context and say that Eric's saying that you could just genocide and kill people.
It justifies everything.
Yeah.
But I get your point.
I totally get where you're coming from, because I felt exactly what you're saying. Like, I totally felt that too. But I would love it if we can see Michelangelo grow from this, because this is undoubtedly something that, regardless of, like, where you're at now, especially as aware as what we are now in our society, this stuff still happens probably. Now, granted, you're not going to, like, wake up and your sister's going to come into your house and just hang you upside down. All of a sudden you want to bang her. Like, that's not going to happen. If it does, turtlesoup@gmail.com. Let me know. But
yeah, seriously. Yeah, let's
definitely need to know that. But
I agree. And look, I want to reiterate, like,
if Splinter wakes up, I'll let you reiterate in a second. If Splinter wakes up and is like, yo, Mikey, we need to have a talk. We need to have a lesson. And he gets the art. He goes through his book, Art of Art. And then he gets to the sex education and just, like, ethics and just being a decent mutant human being. And then you could see Mikey grow. That'd be fantastic. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. And Mikey is notoriously known to have lecherous behavior when people handle him horribly, which...
Yes.
If it stays like this, it's not going to be great. But anyway, go ahead. What you were going to say?
Oh, obviously there are a lot of things that just don't age well from this period. I mean, like, and I acknowledge that. I will. I mean, and once again, it's not necessarily keeping up to some kind of PC standard or some kind of thing that I'm really, like, that's not really my motivation behind it. I just don't like to see it. But I do understand that there's context and rhetoric. We talked about this with Image as well, right? Because at the beginning, the Turtles say some things that don't hold up super great about women and things like that. And we kind of say, like, well, I mean, so, I think it's more of a motivating question to ask kind of why, right? We did that back then, where we were kind of like, well, like, they were trying so hard to make the Turtles seem edgy and like they were real teenagers and stuff like that they kind of did that. Things change and standards change. We become more aware and we progress. We make progress. That's fine. Old stuff should look weird,
right?
Because it means that we're doing something good.
Yeah.
Just personally, I'm saying that I hope that this kind of tames down now that she's part of the squad.
It does seem like it changed at the end.
Yeah, it does really. Yeah, I just don't need it the whole show.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
like, I don't need it for, like, whatever, like 19 more episodes, wherever we got. I don't need, like, oh my god, I work out, bro. Like, all the time.
Yeah, that's a little much.
That being said, though, like, let us know, guys.
I have, like,
what you thought.
I have one other thing. Sorry. I have one other thing. I killed your groove.
If I ever did that to you, you'd die.
I would not.
If I ever killed your outro, if I said, I got one more thing. If you ever said, all right, guys, well, let us know. I'm just saying. You wouldn't know what to do.
This is important. I wouldn't have done it if it was stupid. If it was stupid, I would have let you go. But I just looked at my notes, and it's the last thing. Yep. I want you. Mess with me. I about said daddy, and that would have been really weird. Or would it not have been? Who knows? But what's really weird when I was watching this, so, okay, this is more or less, this is movie one continuity. So we've got mutant rat Splinter, not mutated human rat Splinter. So this is a rat. This is a rat that found
Splinter origin, not Hamada Yoshi origin.
Correct. So the rat found the turtles in the ooze and put them in the can. And then as he got, and now this was already a rat that was like aware and like cognizant of things and could like practice ninjutsu like with his master, like not your ordinary average rat.
All right.
And then he starts to grow a little bit and then sees the turtles grow. Okay, this is making sense. So now you're telling me there was a fifth one that washed down the road to Chinatown, and your normal human ass boy just picks it up and says, I got me a turtle. So he takes her home to China, and all of a sudden, she starts, growing everything. And, now you have a responsibility. Like, that's all. And now you have a whole, now you have a daughter and apprentice. I mean, that had to have been wild for Chung-Yi, and replacement. Yes, exactly. Yeah. That had to have been wild for Chung-Yi. Like, how did he know?
That's true.
Like, how was that dealt with? I want to know how, like, did he get, see, that's where I'm curious if like he got on the astral plane, as you mentioned, talking about like being like a chat room or like some sort of like thing for gathering for people.
Yeah. Like a Discord chat. And he got on there with Splinter and it's like, look,
and he's
bro.
like, and it's like some dad's chat room or like some Discord channel where it's like dads with like unusual kids, just very, very like not really sure. You don't want to say that they're mutants, and they're kind of playing around, and then finally they meet up on the astral plane, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, your kid looks like my kid. Okay, well, let's, give me some pointers.
I mean, it may have really changed Chung-Yi's lifestyle if you think about it, because like he may have been like, with the shinobi in like a temple or something with a bunch of them, and all of a sudden he had like this like turtle that's grown into a daughter, and he's like, I got to get out of here. Maybe he had to isolate himself. Like, you have no idea. I mean,
that's
like,
true.
You're right. What's the price he paid?
And
right. And I always like to think that maybe Splinter and Chung-Yi were in the dream realm, right? Like at the same time, but they had like their cameras off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because like, they were just getting to know each other and stuff. And then Chung-Yi started kind of like pushing Splinter for a picture.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he's like, come on, man. Like, can I get a body pic? Can I get a face pic? And like Splinter's like, hee, rawr. And then like signs off. And it basically just like, it becomes this big thing where Splinter basically like, I'm down for this episode where Splinter just basically has to like work up the nerve to appear in the dream realm as himself.
Right. Yeah.
And then like he finally does, and Chung-Yi's starting to get a little TO'd because he can't get that body shot like your boy Kip. You know what I'm saying? Your boy's like, get a little TO'd.
Yeah.
And then he gets on there and he is just a dead ass rat, and Chung-Yi's down as hell because he's like, oh yeah, cool. No, my daughter's a turtle.
Yeah, it's cool.
This is a huge question. Actually, you just brought up. I'm gonna tell you this one thing before I say this. If you hit this outro on me, I'm gonna kill you.
Okay, can Shinobi and Ninja are the same thing? Got it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sorry, that was the other thing I forgot to say. Same exact thing.
That's deflating. That's somewhat deflating to me. Because I feel like Shinobi is something different.
You would think. It's something in the. They mean the exact same thing. There's something in the one is read because Japanese language has three different ways of reading it or something like that, or the way it's written, and one is pronounced this way and the other's this way. It comes together the same thing. I saw something on a quick Google search that said that maybe there's the Chinese influence that kind of makes the shinobi a little different, but that was the only thing I saw on that. Everything else just said they are the exact same thing: assassin, stealth, all this stuff.
Weird.
Yeah. So very strange that she just had to belabor that point. But yeah. Okay. So
that is strange.
I am done. It is over. My foot is finished.
We haven't done a podcast in so long. We don't know how to end it.
I know.
I was just gonna say that that the thing that's interesting is like this. Your question's cool, okay? Because it does beg. First of all, it's funny because you're right. Because Chung-Yi got a whole bait and switch.
Yeah. He was not wanting to be a dad.
Splinter, you're right, because Splinter was like, well, like, oh, my body is changing too, and my turtles. So it's kind of like, that's cool, that's fine. Yeah. Like, because like we understand things real quick. You know what I'm saying? We're all in the same boat here. Chung-Yi got a real bill of goods. He's not like, I'm gonna keep this turtle like dead ass in a jar, son, and it's gonna be cool. And then he's like, this is a person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is a person.
Like at what point did the jar, like, because he had to keep getting a bigger jar. At what point did he think, oh, this is it? Surely they're not going to get any bigger than this.
How long did Mei Chai spend in captivity before Chung-yi realized he wasn't crazy?
Right.
Like at what point, like, because it starts simple, right? Like the turtle's in the jar and you're working on the looking glass. That's all he does. He just like
that's all he does.
The looking glass. Like he has like a little time clock. He like does his little punch card.
Oh yeah.
He sits down. He's like pulling that glass back. And all of a sudden you hear like, "Dada," and you're like, "Well, it's probably the looking glass."
Right, of course. That's.
And you hear like, "Hungry." He's like, turn around. Little turtle's waving. He's like,
"Yeah."
Fair. Yeah, no, I'm fucking nuts. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, in the mirror, and he just did that for like ever, right?
Yeah.
Until eventually she's old enough to be like, I'm not like an actual turtle, dude. Like I'm a mutant turtle.
Right.
I don't know what you want to call
mutant
it.
Turtle
hottie. Let me out.
Yeah.
Do you need help?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In a way, this is also kind of symbolic. She may have grown up seriously, much like Splinter grew up with Hamada, actually. In the cage, following his movements, echoing his shit until Chun-Yi was like, "Oh damn, you're actually real. Holy shit."
Oh, cool. See, that makes so much more sense. That's way cooler. I mean, the other stuff was funny, like that was hilarious, but like the getting too.
No,
late,
yeah,
but
sure.
like the idea.
Because you're gonna think you're crazy because when a turtle starts like mimicking your like katas, you're like,
right.
Oh, I'm still crazy.
I'm still crazy, but that's cool. But that's. Oh, that's so cool. Because then I started. Yeah, that's. Oh, I'm so glad I interrupted you. Oh.
I like it. And then the second thing, the last thing I'll say, think of, was it does beg the question of if Splinter and Chung-Yi were on ancient Dreamwalker AOL chat with each other for all these years because they know each other on a first name basis.
Oh, of course.
Like you see it in episode 1. He's like, Splinter. He's like, Chung-Yi, my friend. What's going on? They're like really into it. They know each other. How long has Splinter known about Mei Chai?
That's the I was gonna say, because like what else isn't Splinter telling us? Like, goodness.
Yeah, I want Splinter. I'm very curious. I'm serious. I am not lying. I want curious Splinter to come out of this dream reality prison shit because I want to hear. Because that'd be my first question. If I was like Leo or Donnie and I was starting to put the damn numbers together and be like, so your dad hangs out with my dad at the Dream Bar. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're always there being intellectuals. And I didn't know about you. And my brothers didn't know about you. But your dad knows about you. And my dad know each other.
Right. Yeah.
How long has my dad known about your ass?
Right. And
that'd be my first question. Splinter would be like, my sons, I'm coming out of the dream realm. And I'd be on his, like, grabbing that gi, like, how long have you known there was a fifth fucking turtle? I'd be like on his shit. Like, there's a little like some there'll be blood shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd be over your boy with that little pistol, like looking all crazy.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. And because think about it, this is the second time that Splinter's gonna be waking up to a strange woman in his house. Because April.
Oh, you ain't wrong.
That's the first time,
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah. Like the turtles they keep bringing ladies there. I mean,
no, he can't help himself, can he?
No. No.
Anyways, are you good? Are we good?
I'm good. I think
I'm good with this one.
Yes.
I feel like we got crossed up because there's so much.
It was a lot.
This episode begs of
of
you, and you can keep thinking about it. That's a mark of like. I'm gonna say it. That's a mark of some good shit.
It is.
I'm just gonna say it. I know that this is disowned by people. I know that whatever. I understand that. Look, guys, it's cheesy. And like, look, they're not like my turtles. I get it, right? It's not my scale, right? Like,
right.
Like that's how it is. I get it. Yeah. It might not be almost anybody's scale, to be honest. Sure. But I feel like shit's backwards a little bit with the animated series in this show. Straight up. Maybe that's a discussion topic. Where people in the community, they love the animated series. They love the animated series. Like they're so into it. I understand that's how you got into it, right? That's the most like iconic version of them, really.
Mama Duck.
But then they like kind of talk on this show, and they talk bad. And I'm like, once again, we're 2 episodes in. It could go ass over tea kettle real bad, and it could be the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
But I'll say this: my final thought: it is not that yet.
Not that yet.
2 episodes in, it's not the worst Turtles thing I've seen in my life.
Because 2 episodes in, Yeah, yeah, and especially if you've read the movie 3 manga,
Well,
movie 3 just horrible.
yeah, no,
But
like
yeah,
yes, I've seen all that. Um, we would love to know what you think about this show so far, especially 2 episodes in, because
yes,
that could be huge. Big emails, which once again, we're back to reading on the show for the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like we're just doing it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna try to keep up. If there was an email and you said, I know they didn't do it. I know they didn't read it. Let us know, because right now we think we're even. You know, we
right.
think we're solid. So if we didn't read it, let us know and we'll do it. You can reach us at turtlesoupshow@gmail.com.
Sure.
We are always up here doing the thing. We have the home of the internet, turtlesoupshow.com, so you can find all of our episodes in audio form. You can subscribe on YouTube and check us out if you're not already, because we love to have you here, and the live chat's badass. And I can tell you, after like months away from you Turtletarians in the live chat, just this one episode's worth of it has been like nourishing to my soul. I'll use that word. One of my
That's
favorite
good.
words.
I like
Nourishing.
that.
Is I'm just
Nourishing.
nourished from this.
Yeah.
There's always the Facebook group as well, which we always kind of dispatch information on, and you get really cool links to stuff that we eventually do news on. Because I feel like the Troll Soup Facebook group has been ahead of our news stream for like the entirety of when we've been doing news. So you can get it first there. We're on Instagram, obviously, Turtle Soup Show with the underscores. And make sure you like and subscribe video. It would be pretty cool. And also, we're on Patreon. You want to do the extra little step, you know what I'm saying? You could just take a few steps over there. Is there a 5th turtle in your turtle bowl? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know, like, did your dad just know there was another one of you? And just for his reasons didn't say? He's dropping weird crap about, I have a rook. And you're like, oh, what the hell? If you're mad about it and you have money, you can give us money on Patreon, and we'll be here to support you through that process. Because if my dad knew I had a genetic twin somewhere, and he didn't tell me because it was his friend at the bar and whatever, I'd be mad too. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So you can always help out. Once again, Patreon's tier is as low as $1, all the way up to $20 to get a cool shirt every month, every 6 months, something like that.
Yeah, 6 months, more or less.
Thank you guys so much for listening once again, and we will catch you on the flip side. And else time.